trouble with primitives in any art form, painting, poetry, or music, is that they come a dime a dozen. You can trip over them in the streets. Anyone can present himself as a primitive when they might be quite simply untalented, or just lazy, or money-minded, or all three at once.
Oh, who's money-minded?
Oh!
Welcome
Achoo!
to the LeafCast, a first-time reader show based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and I am currently pondering whether a small cushion wouldn't help these tired bones.
Yep, and I am Ryan's brother Dan. I am the breaker of bonds, the forger of chains, the maker of futures, the unshaper of destinies. And this is The Way of the Leaf. And this is the LeafCast.
LeafCast! Oh, I think we did it. And we have Prologue in Chapter 1 of The Dragon Reborn. Can you flippin' believe it, brother?
Let's go. Season 3, y'all.
This is unbelievable.
We got 2 books in the rearview mirror already.
Okay. Oh, and talking about 2, speaking in 2s, we are adding 2 to 1 and creating a threesome. This threesome is added to the twosome that is the duo, dynamically you and I, and we are creating a 5.
Are we the Fab Five?
We're the Fab Five. Yes.
Okay.
We're the Fab Five. So this is the starting 5 of the Olympic national basketball team of podcast readers. So anyways, we have first-time reader Todd coming back, and we have 2 new first-time readers who have agreed to jump as the kind of analysis and fun-filled banter that we are expecting from them, and we expect a lot from them.
Guys, our readers are the best. Ryan, bring in our first-time reader guest.
Oh, what? Nice. Oh, I wasn't ready for that one, Dan.
Yeah, okay. Oh, they're reading. Oh, okay. Lived happily ever after. Hey!
Hello.
The big reveal!
Guys, this is the LeafCast. Peel your eyes open and take a gander, would ya?
Look at this army.
All right. So, I mean, Todd, can explain like the kind of what initiation we put you through to make sure you're worthy of being on the show? We shaved your head. We made you grow a beard. Mm-hmm. Right, and you did all of these. You did all these, and you grew. You got super muscular for us. You totally rose to the challenge.
Push-ups, pull-ups. Just yeah.
We told you to grow that one pinky nail like you're some cocaine guy, and you're doing it. And that was just a joke, but he's still doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
everything you say.
So the issue here is Kay, Sadai, and Josh have been wanting to be on the show since the beginning, but they've been having to go through some trials and tribulations. Right. We've had to put them through the gauntlet, but they've survived, and they've proven themselves worthy, and I can't wait for everyone to meet you guys.
Kay, Sadai, whatever will weave.
Jason, Sadai.
Welcome
to the show.
Introduce yourself here.
Thank you.
You
Sorry.
you just got into the books.
Cut out for
Correct, right?
I did. Yes.
Well, no,
Yes.
you have a history with them. Ish.
I do. I read The Wheel of Time a while back and was not that interested in it. So long ago that it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
It was
It's like 12 or something?
Yes, very young. Didn't care about any of the characters or what they were doing. Didn't understand the relationships or anything. So this time around was really cool. Was reintroduced to it by a very good friend. Some of you know him. And
Ryan.
Good stuff. Good stuff since then. Love The Great Hunt. Yeah, crazy.
So Hesky's asking, are Kay and Josh up to book 3S? Yes, that is the agreement. We will be strictly following along the show. They are not allowed to go ahead. They are not allowed to watch any media around this show, this books, and
so
they
hard.
will.
It's so difficult.
Oh, you just
very
wait, buddy.
strict rules.
Yeah, it's a non-disclosure agreement.
What?
It's an unsigned NDA, yeah.
We like to call it a book club signed in blood. It's
No.
Yep, Ryan.
Serious.
No,
You
true.
weren't there
Club
that
in
day.
blood.
Yeah.
All right,
You guys
so
gotta introduce Josh, man.
yes. Next
Who's
up
this
is
guy?
my good friend Josh, aka Orlox. Tell us
nice
about
to be
yourself
here.
real quick, and tell us your history with the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, similar to Kay, I read it maybe as like an 11 or 12-year-old. Just book one, very briefly. And then, along with your podcast, I've been following along. I read book one and book two. Granted, book two is so good once you get to the second half, I just kind of consumed it a little faster than your show. You know how I am. But yeah, it was delicious, and I loved the ability to re-experience it as an adult with, all the kind of real-world experiences and references to pull out and all of this kind of stuff that comes with being a seasoned human being.
It is nice reading it through older eyes.
Yeah. Even though it's not like an adult book, like it's fun to pick up on those little insinuations and his perviness, all of those kind of things that come along in the text.
That Robert Jordan.
Oh, that silly old Robert Jordan, yeah.
As our chat did point out, there was new music in the intro. And this was Homunculus Rex. Is that correct, Ryan?
It was,
It
and
is.
it
is.
forever shall be. And we are listening to background music for this episode. Will be Homunculus Rex throughout. So,
Nice. So that is Josh and Ryan.
High five
So,
down there.
High five at each
Bam.
other. Everyone,
all right.
everyone like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Let's
And
get
as
to that
always-
500.
As always, we have our man Todd. Todd is also a musician. He is a drummer in a band called It Looks Like a Black Hole. That is all one word, all lowercase letters.
Thank you.
The pandemic kind of did a number on your ability to play live, but apparently you guys are starting to
Yeah, we're slowly tiptoeing back into it.
nice.
Yeah.
Tyshar.
Happens.
Tyshar, Todd. Tyshar
Hi,
Rock.
Shar.
Sure, it looks like a black hole.
All right. Real quickly, do we need to start with the pronounce this before you start spoiling the names? Dan.
I think.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Guys, here's part of your initiation.
It's initiation, right? Yeah, we got to suffer through it.
You have to, with every chapter, there are certain words that you're going to have to pronounce. There's quite a few in this one because it is a recap chapter and because we've never done this game with you. So we added some that were that Todd has already had to pronounce, but that we have not heard you guys suffer through yet. I mean, indoor. So
Indoor.
yeah, Ryan,
Enjoy.
the game that's sweeping the nation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
What's
called
it
Pronounce This.
Yes. And we did it.
All
Guys.
right. We're gonna go in order of not importance. Josh. Pronounce this.
Lord Captain Commander Pedron Nial.
Sedai.
Lord Captain Commander Pedron Nile is how I pronounce it.
Todd.
Lord Captain Commander Pedro Nial.
Okay, now we have Shansony says.
Let's fix that, right? It's mispronounced.
What? Whoops.
Oh, it's spelled wrong. Sorry.
Apropos.
We'll fix that.
Lord Captain Commander Pedron Nial.
All right, let's try one more time.
Lord Captain Commander Pedron Nial.
All right, thank you.
All right. I say Nile,
You
but
say Niall?
Shansony is always right. So
She says
Niall.
Niall. Okay,
Niall.
so next up, pronounce this. Oh.
right.
Oh.
You're getting there, Ryan.
Pronounce this.
Josh.
Todd.
No, Todd. All right. No, we'll switch. All right, case of ice.
Switch it up.
What? Okay. Child Jarrett Bayar.
Okay. Josh.
Todd.
Child Jarrett Bayar.
Todd.
Child Jarrett Bayar. That's how I say it. Bayar.
Let's go to the Shansony says.
Shanos no sonaya. Oh no.
Shanosomania.
Shansony
Shansony says.
Shanarans.
Oh, no, she says.
Wait, what was it?
No, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Lord Captain Commander
No,
Pedron
that was the last
Nial.
one. Ignore. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Child Jarrett Bayar.
All right.
You got it.
Child Jared Bayar.
There it is.
All right. Next up.
Ryan,
Princess.
I really like this.
I'm having a great
I
time.
think this is going great. Todd.
Almoth Plain.
Okay.
This sounds like a breakfast cereal.
Almost plain and almost with raisins.
Almonds with almonds.
I'll take that Almoth Plain, please.
If your mom came home with the almond plain, you're like, fuck.
Almost plain got nuts.
Again,
Come on, Mom. Some nuts in my cereal.
Josh, pronounce this.
Healthy.
Almonds plain.
Okay. Okay, so I.
Should I?
Almost plain, obviously.
All right. Chansony says.
Almoth Plain.
All right. I think that was a
Yep.
I think we had a quorum, a
Well
consensus.
done. That was,
All right. Here we go.
we got it.
Okay, slide. Pronounce this.
Tom and Head. Was that too fast?
No, it's
Tom
perfect.
and Head.
Perfect.
Todd. Pronounce this.
Tom and Head. Tom and Head.
Tommen. All right. Josh.
Toman head.
All right. Shanosia says.
Yeah, so you said?
Tomon Head.
I don't know if that was
Little
not.
accentuation on the A, yeah.
Yeah, hard A.
That's right.
Toman head.
Don't fuck with me. Come
Like the Amazon show is might be calling land lawn. So
That's
it's not,
like from the Lord of the Rings, though. I don't know if that should be allowed.
It's not. Whoa, lawn. Whoa, what?
Well, that's different and fun.
All right, pronounce this. Josh.
Terabon.
Kisrai.
Tarabon.
Todd.
Tarabon.
Chansony says.
Tarabon.
Oh.
So we need to roll that R a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know what the people from Terabon are
It's
called?
more like Cinnabone.
Tarabon?
Terabonian.
Boners.
Teraboners.
Can you play it one more
Tarabon.
time?
Boners.
For real. For real.
Faux real.
Maybe it's Bonners, but I think it's Boner.
Teraboners.
Araduman.
Oh.
Araduman. Araduman.
All right,
Jeff from
Johnson, hold on. Hold your horses, Johnson.
She's really insistent on that one.
Yeah.
Fuck. We got it way wrong, guys.
Well, let's skip that one.
She's
Hey,
very insistent. Yeah.
moving on.
There we go.
Pronounce this, Josh.
Joffrem Bornhold.
Kisrai.
It's basically Geofram Bornhold.
Good old Geofram.
Geofram. Those Geoframs really protect us, you know.
So I got my major
Sticky
in
Framming the
archaeology,
earth.
but my minor was in Geofram.
Yes.
All
Well,
right, Todd.
I still
Many
want to
words,
say
many,
it that
many-
way. Joffrem Bornhall.
Joffrem. Chansony says.
nice.
Called. Jeffrem Bornhold.
Yeah,
Jeffrem.
Jeffrem Bornhold.
I think
All
Josh was
right.
the closest.
And we're gonna keep going. Pronounce this.
Oh, this one is
Kisrai.
hard.
Karhian? Kai Harian. Kai Harian. Kai Harian.
All right, Josh. Yeah.
One of those.
All of those.
Karhian.
Yes.
I Fuck off, Josh. You know.
I think someone's watching the show. All right, Todd.
Right? Somebody's been doing their homework.
All right,
Todd.
I say Karheen.
Oh,
Nice.
And Chancey says,
Falma. Carvalon.
It don't even look like that.
all right,
Never will.
all right, off the rails. All right, that was a great game, guys. Let's move on to the
Fun
chapters.
stuff. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Whoops.
Falma.
I'll figure that out, guys.
And his paths shall be many, and who shall know his name? For he shall be born among us many times, in many guises, as he has been and ever will be, time without end. His coming shall be like the sharp edge of the plow, turning our lives in furrows from out of the places where we lie in our silence. The breaker of bonds, the forger of chains, the maker of futures, the unshaper of destiny. From the commentaries on the prophecies of the dragon by Jurith Doreen, right hand of the Queen of Almarin, 742 AB, the Third Age. Wow. That's how this book starts, besides the dedication to Robert Jordan's father. Quote, he taught me always to follow the dream, and when I caught it, to live it. Fuck yeah. Way to go, Mr. Rigney.
Awesome. Hey, let's start off with a curveball, guys. What do you think AB stands for? Todd, what do you give us?
I forget.
Oh, you once knew, but you don't now. Any guessers? AB.
After birth.
After breaking.
After breaking.
After.
That's good, Todd.
That's nice.
It came to me.
Is it like Robert Jordan?
Asshole boobies.
Oh yeah. Okay, Matt Stagger says Abernathy Bernard.
Oh.
Yeah. I would read that guy's blog.
Abernathy Bernard. Yeah, he seems like he would know what's up.
Or you could fake it well. Brother Dan, are you ready? Where's Dan? Oh no.
Oh, we lost him.
Sorry. God
Where's
dang it. I was sitting here just reading the book. I just got into it, and I forgot to get in front of the camera. I'm sorry about that.
Okay,
right?
I thought you were going to play guitar for a second.
Oh, I know. If you want. No.
Why wouldn't we want that?
No, if it's not here, it's upstairs.
Oh.
But yeah, let's jump into this, guys.
Sure.
It's the prologue. It's called The Fortress of Light. It has that sublime sun tattoo as its icon. And it seems like we are let's see, how far past the end of book 2 do you think we are now? Okay, said I.
Are you kidding?
No.
Like, as far as when?
Right.
When are we?
Well, no. So what we have
Since book 2?
Essentially, this starts off with Pedro Nile is meeting with Child Buyer, Jarrett Buyer. If we remember at the end of book 2,
he saw
Child
it all
Buyer
go down.
Was the one who was sent. Go tell my son how I died. Tell my son Dane, you can't fight. I'm gonna fight. We're all gonna fight. You can't fight. You gotta just bone the fuck out because you gotta tell my kid how I died. Pretty selfish. Don't tell their kids how they died. Only mine.
Yeah, Bornhold was very specific.
And so he is now in the country of the White Cloaks, and is talking to the Lord Captain Commander himself, Pedro Nile.
I think it's about 3 weeks, I would wager. Maybe a week. Somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Since the end of the last book. I mean, long enough for artists who have painted sketches of the event and passed them on, but maybe in the time before digital media, no cameras. I mean, this is how ideas were percolated. So it could be a day, could be 3 weeks.
So if we look,
if
we look on the map here, see that penis-looking thing?
I'm looking at the
Oh.
map. I don't
There's-
see a penis looking.
Right there,
Oh,
right there, that dong-looking thing.
There are several. Which
Tomon
which
head.
do you want us to look at?
That's Toman Head. That's so
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, that. Oh, let me get
Yeah, like Florida. It's like the Florida of the Wheel
It's
of Time.
the
right there.
peninsula of the Wheel
It
of
is
Time. Yeah.
So that
Florida.
is Toman Head and Falma, and they go all the way to Amadisha, which is down here.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that this voyage probably took at least a few weeks, if not months, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Brother Dan, you're pretty buff to be able to hold that book up with those little arms you got. That book's bigger than you.
I mean,
Brian,
little
Brother
arms
Dan.
full of stuffing.
Watch, I'm going to do one arm push up. Ready?
Yeah.
So cute. So
Brother
cute. You try
Dan,
so
there's
Oh my gosh. Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
Go.
One.
There's
And-
there's no
Five.
scale on this map.
Oh, God.
Clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us some burpees.
I'm going to do one arm pull up. Right?
Yeah.
Guys, like and
Oh,
subscribe.
look at that. Passion.
Like and subscribe. Oh fuck!
Smash that like button.
Fucking. Oh god.
Damn.
I miss you, Brother Dan.
I'm too old for feats of strength. Oh.
That was
I wish
Do you
amazing.
need a cushion for your seat? No, I'm just kidding.
You guys didn't know I had a pull-up bar like right here.
What else do you use that bar for, Dan?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Ruining the magic a little bit
I
there.
climb it. Oh.
You know. Super sweet. Fucking amazing. I see all.
So the Fortress of Light. Pedro Nile is talking with Childfire. We learn that there is no swords allowed in his presence. He is the Lord Captain Commander, which we assume is head honcho, the big cheese, the
Commander
last
Chief.
Fandango, as you say.
Last
And you were right, Josh. He does have 3 different pictures of what seem to be Rand that were taken from those artists in Falma.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Dan, just to make the point, there's no scale on this map. This could be as small as, England, and that distance might be a few days. It could be as large as, the Americas, and it could be a matter of months or weeks,
Riding
right?
by
That is
Travel.
a good point. But if you look, so if we keep looking at the map, we see next to Almouth Plain is Edmonds Field,
Yep.
where our boys are from.
Yep.
And it took them a while to get to Andor, which is just about 2 inches straight across the equatorial line there.
Right, sure.
So they were going further.
Well, assuming this is the middle of the Earth, or that it's like where the equator is. But again, this could be in the far north. It could be in the south.
True.
There's nothing.
Yep.
True. So yeah. So yeah,
In the middle of the map, needless to say.
They just might walk unnaturally fast. We don't know.
Yeah, but his breastplate is dulled from travel and battered from use. It says. So he's had a journey, regardless of how long it took him.
Yeah. Do you think they shine up their breastplates between every ordeal, or do you think that's an indicator that he's been a soldier for? I read it as him being a soldier for a long time, as opposed to he's had a long journey. But
Oh, it said dulled from travel, so that's what I was basing it on.
Yeah,
But
no,
either way, yeah. They're the children of the light, not the children of the dull.
yeah, they should be shining their shields every time they get a chance, right?
Especially in the
Yeah, well, no one else is shining their shields. How about get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, because you'll go blind.
Yeah.
You're evil if you do that.
Robert Jordan would never mention it. We know that, but he might imply it plenty.
Exactly, exactamundo. I always got the idea that he just felt, he was about it. He came straight there. Like I think that just implied that he just came straight there. He had
been given time to wash, but not to shine his
That
breastplate.
says it all right there.
There you go.
Yes.
It's like we'll let you wash up.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
You
smell
need
bad.
to be in front of the dude right now.
That's it.
Commander-in-Chief wants you.
We learned a little bit of news from his musings. Apparently, thousands have declared for the dragon already. Terabon and Domon rather are in civil war, as well as at war with each other. There's fighting all across Ammon's Plain and Tolman Head. Terabon against Domani against Dark Friends, crying for the dragon. But then winter hit, and it seemed like all the fighting kind of stopped because it's cold. You know, hey guys, it's cold. Let's go home, have some soup. I'll meet you back here in like 3 months. Is that cool?
So,
okay.
Put the swords down.
So one question I have about your relation to this, Dan, and I mean, this is part of what I think makes this like multiple first-person perspective interesting is, are we learning this, right? Or is the character in the story learning this?
Character in the story.
Right?
Well, both.
Both, right?
Both,
but in a sense, like we don't know whether the information that is being portrayed to him is new, right? He might already know all of this through other sources and be verifying it, or he might be testing him. I mean, at this point, we just don't know. We do learn later, I feel like, that is the case, but you know, it's not clear right from the get-go whether like we're in the perspective of the character, not in the
Like
perspective
who-
of
yeah.
ourselves, right?
Like who knows what? We don't know. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know exactly who knows what yet.
Right. These are more or less the rumors that he is passing on.
He is
more or
passing
less.
on.
Yeah.
Right.
But if they're true, it seems that these may or may not have been reverberations, perhaps, from what occurred at the end of the Great Hunt when Rand was in the goddamn air fighting, you know, in the clouds. But we also we know that some of what is being conveyed is false. Case of Aes Sedai, we're told that the Aes Sedai were the ones that were attacking. They not the Shanshin per se, but Aes Sedai. They're bringing lightning down and blowing up the ground underneath them, and but they killed 2 of them with arrows, but not before they lost 50 people.
Well, wasn't it 50 arrows?
Or yeah,
Or 2 witches?
they cost us more than 50 dead before we stuck them full of arrows.
50 dead before. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so 50 White Cloaks died in the process of trying to get these 2 women who Pedro Nile is like, are you sure they were Aes Sedai?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he asked them so
Yeah,
many times does seem to imply that he has foreknowledge of this event. Whether it's something that he learned from talking with Ordith, as we see, or if it's some other source that's delivered this information to him, or he's just felt it out of the goddamn glimmer. Who knows, right? Like, at this point, he doesn't seem to believe that, other than by his own force of will, that he's being told the truth, right?
Well, he immediately reflects on the 3 oaths that the Aes Sedai take.
Yeah.
It says to speak no word that was not true, to make no weapon for one man to kill another, or to use the one power as a weapon only against dark friends or shadow smoke.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, the Sei-Chan's women could have looked like Aes Sedai power being enacted from afar, right? I mean,
That's what I was going to bring.
unless you were there and in person, like, it would be hard to know whether these were Aes Sedai with all their glamour and glitz and glory, or whether this was some manifestation of the enemy.
Or a third possibility being the heroes of the Horn.
Right.
Right.
Or the man, exactly, the dragon himself channeling the one source.
But, you know, Byers pretty much, hey, this woman had a beak and had wings and went quack, so it's got to be a duck, right?
Yep, exactly. And we know he's unimaginative from
And
the description.
that duck is named Perrin.
Don't abuse my boy.
Right. Well, there is the parent hate. So Todd,
Deep
he kind of,
hatred.
yeah, he's like, hey, man, by the way, I ain't fucking around. We were betrayed. He's like, yeah, by that guy Perrin, right? And he's like, yes, I hate
He's like,
him.
oh, how do you know? How do you?
He's like, yeah, you told me already.
Oh shit!
He's like parent again. Come on, brother.
Aaron again, yeah. I mean, and we do learn that there are dark friends high and low. I mean, we kind of knew that from the prologue to the second book, that there was someone high in the White Hands that is a part of all the darkness that's going on
in the White Tower. Like there's a whole bunch of different forces, I feel like, and a bunch of different I don't know, colors of the Aja, people controlling different things and making different things happen, also in the White Tower, and then and everywhere, and they're just like infiltrating different situations and acting as different colors.
Yep. Actually, good. Yep, good point.
And if you remember the prologue to the last book, it started off with this kind of little, social hour of dark friends all kind of gathered around at some place.
But it wasn't. It clearly wasn't Pedro and Niall, because whoever that was had like well-polished boots and like was very
nice.
Yeah, dapper.
Nice.
So, and we know that Pedro and Niall is not a man of vanity or dapperness in any regard, it seems.
No, he won't even sit on a cushion for his little bottom.
Right.
His sore.
His bones are all brittle.
Aching.
There's no cushion for the pushing for Pedro Niall, and yet he will not sit on a cushion. Yeah, here, seriously.
Take one for the team, Pedro.
All right, so I mean, do you have
He does.
I mean, did you? Okay, so we'll get to further along in the prologue, but yeah, like great points, Josh. Going back to the Dark Friend Social is awesome, because we're definitely seeing some of these characters being played out.
Right. During that prologue, we did see what looked to be a Tinker. We did see at least one or two Aes Sedai. We saw Shinarian. We saw a lot of different cultures
representation
represented.
of cultures. Exactly. Yeah.
Do we, Josh? Do you think it was Ingtar?
Oh yeah.
Ingtar was probably there as well.
He was probably there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I called. Remember that?
I feel like we're left a little unclear whether Ingtar was actually... I mean, he did come out and say, but I think in his heart of hearts, he wasn't all there. I mean, as effaced by his behavior towards our heroes, ultimately.
Yeah. And do you think his whole thing about the horn was his orders, or was that his redemption arc he was trying to fulfill to make up for him being a Dark Friend?
Either that, or it was an implanted suggestion from the Dark One in his dwelling, in his dealings, to have him seek the horn as a part of this master plan that sort of, I assume, touches on all the spokes of the wheel that we're seeing as like the threads of the story that are unfolding as each book kind of progresses.
Oh, that's interesting. Each book is a spoke in the wheel. Nice.
Ooh, there you go.
Or even certain events are the spokes in the wheel, right? That like are these kind of ticks on the clock, the ticks on the doomsday clock, so to speak, of like as the ages are changing.
I want to Google how many spokes are on the wheel right now so bad, because I have not counted that.
7.
Oh, that's shitty.
I think
Okay,
from the
you
picture,
double
right?
them, right? So you get like...
Yeah, but there's
in the
14
back.
books. I mean, there's
Like,
14 books.
That's what I'm saying. So like you get like half a spoke and then like a full spoke.
Well, that would mean that there's 2 complete turns of the cycle, right? So we'd see the dragon
would.
twice, presumably, in the 14 books.
Or it's just more like a tandem bicycle. It's just 2 wheels going.
Right. I mean, it is an infinity symbol representation in a lot of
It
places,
makes
right?
me
So,
nuts, yeah,
our,
a little bit.
Sure.
A little bit of infinities.
infinity, or what's the name of the shape? It's like the torus that folds over itself. Mobius strip. It's kind of like a Mobius strip too, of
Or a Celtic,
Cool.
a Celtic,
Yeah.
Celtic,
knot.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Celtic
There you
knot.
go. I was like, wait, there's
There you
like
go.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess there
The
are
waves
3
are kinda
strips
like-
on
The waves are kind of like a Mobius strip almost. It seems like they're like, wait a minute, weren't we just up there? Now we're down here and we're over there.
Yep.
So okay, so
So one thing that I took note of, kind of
Where are
interesting, it is like, Dan, we were kind of talking about the idea of religion in the books the other night. We were having our discussion, and one thing with the way that the flaring sun of coin gold that had been worn smooth by the generations of petitioners, right, has this very much like this quality of worship to it, right, where like the children of the light obviously see themselves as this kind of holy figure, and we're now talking to like the austere commander-in-chief, right, who is like the head of this essentially religious devotional cult, whatever, who have this worldview that like wraps everything within their mission to serve the light, and kind of to the exclusion of all the other stories, which I think, as we've seen from like the people who are not able to like appreciate the multiplicity of the turning of the wheel, they like kind of get ground down, or they have to like hold fervently to their own ideas of what the one thing is that matters amongst this, multiplicity of time that we're seeing through the text.
So what are your opinions of the Children of the Light? Do you think that they are good, bad?
I mean, I think that it's kind of a heavy-handed reference to like the Catholic Church in the real world, and that we're seeing sort of like an archetype of like the representation of organized religion that has this like confederacy around preserving an idea of order and a hierarchy of control. Right. So I like perceive all of that subconsciously or whatever from like the description of these people within their environment. And I think it's telling kind of that, like the Catholic Church, it's had this speckled history, right? Like clearly there's some delusion and like lust for glory amongst their commander-in-chief, and presumably the whole thing is kind of wrought with the human suffering and confusion that you find in any organization that's trying to attain supreme power, right? Like ultimately this stuff all references back to our real world and our everyday experiences, whether it's at like a high level or like subconsciously.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you think
Definitely.
it's not a? Do you think it's yeah? So anyways, like they have inquisitors. Literally, they have inquisitors.
Yeah, I mean the inquisitors and the Inquisition and the reference to the questioners, and clearly they're like fervent, fired belief in the truth, that their truth is the capital T truth that there is to follow, right? And indeed, all the way through the organizational structure of like, you serve me, you serve the light, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, here,
use of fear also.
Fear.
Yep.
And also calling them child. If you're calling someone child, by default, you are father.
Right, in the hierarchy, or at least a web of control.
Do you believe? Does anybody here believe that Pedro Nile is a fervent believer of his own faith? Do you see evidence of it yet?
I think
in his thoughts, like the way he thinks about the world, he seems to. I'm yet to, I'm just wondering what you guys think about it.
At the moment, I'm kind of perceiving it within the context of what we've read so far. So I would say he is torn, at the very least. Whether, I mean, again, kind of like basing this on real world experience. Yeah, he's clearly like drank his own tea. He smoked his own stuff, and he's like embedded with the idea that this is the truth, and to the exclusion of all else, right? Yeah, he's going to save the world, reveal the world.
Right, and we'll get into it, but what he is planning could be seen as treasonous to their order.
Clearly. Mm-hmm.
But so he says, all right, Child Bar, good job. Peace out. You can go tell Dane he's over in Tarvalon, so get on your horse, big guy. You got another ride to do. He's like, all right, peace out. And he starts reflecting a bit on the events of the world. And again, these are just rumors and such, but it seems that there's a lot of little happenings going on. Just to name some, there's war between Terabon and Eridomon. A civil war ripped at Kyrian, and war fever was rising in Ter and Ilion, old enemies as they were. It goes on, and aside from the false dragon, somewhere on Almeth Plain, another Torah at Chaldea, and a third plague tier. 3 at once. They must all be false dragons. They must be. He goes on, there's sightings of Aiel As far west as Merindy and Candor. The Athanmier, the sea folk, were said to be ignoring trade to seek signs and portents. Ilian called the Great Hunt. First time that happened in 400 years. Ogier, it says, have called meetings between their steading. There's some shit going around, and Pedro Niles like, there's some shit going around.
Yeah,
And we also learn that he's not in the dark about many of the things that our heroes, being from the boonies, are in the dark about, right? He knows it's been 3,000 years since the time of the breaking. He knows that these are stories that children tell their sons to like propagate the mythos and the ideas, kind of like we talked about the other night again, Dan, like how this idea of how are these stories passed along? What is the baseline of the cultural representation of these stories, so that if there is no organized religion, there is no shared cultural heritage across all of these. How are these stories told? Are they the mythos of the world?
You can have shared culture without having religion.
True. Yes, very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, this culture seems half religious and half militaristic. So they have a military system. And when I see Pedro Nile, I see him as maybe being the top in his cult per se, but also being the general of a pretty substantial army.
Mm-hmm.
I see him as like a legend-seeking, like a selfish narcissist.
Right.
And I don't think he's driven by his own beliefs at all. And in fact, in the last book, he's talking about he's threatening someone to send the inquisitors on, or the questioners, right? The questioners. And he says, yeah, I know that they'll just do whatever the fuck they want to get you to say whatever they want you to say. I know he basically reveals that he knows it's a complete farce. It's not that they have like powers.
Well, that's his
of
organization,
God.
But that's different than the belief in the light, right? And again, I think this is part of the Catholic Church. There's this idea of like the church as is separate from Christianity itself, right? And I think again here we're seeing that represented. We see this like separation between the truth of the organization and the truth of the underlying spiritual belief. I think they all are true believers in the light. Like at least he in his heart of hearts believes that, whether he follows true to it or not. Don't you think that he's bought into the light, that he is?
I don't know if he's bought into the light or if he's just hates Aes Sedai.
I don't know what the hell I think at this point, but I just want to say something really quickly if I can.
Yes!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aes Sedai.
So, seriously though, I don't even care about like the religious aspect of it, honestly, as much as I care about like it seems like there's very much a political thing going on here to me. There's so many different colors. Seems like that's representative of our world and our politics in general. There are people that are good and then turn evil, and evil and well, I don't know about evil and then turn good. Well, yes, even yes. So without yes. What can I say? I can say everything up to this point, right? So like Ingtar, being that hero that he has become in my eyes at least, and I think in a lot of people's, it just doesn't seem like there's as much, I don't know, to me, yes, religion is probably a very big part of it. But I also think that politics plays a huge part in this, and the corruption within.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good point. But to Josh's point and to your point,
for sure, Josh has an awesome point.
There is a dark one, and there is a creator. Their beliefs are right. This actually does happen. So it's maybe not their belief system as much as their execution. Mm-hmm. But if you look around, there are a bunch of dark friends around, and yeah, if you are that evangelical about it and decide that you need to convert everyone or root out the evil in towns, then this might be the way to do it. It's misguided, I think, but you do have dark friends. You have people that sell their soul to the dark one and then do bad things.
Yeah, I mean, you have people who have magical powers who can like just do horrifying things. And as we learn more and more about the Aes Sedai, we know that not all of them are good, and we don't know what has not been written in the books yet. So these people have experiences with different Aes Sedai throughout the years, and we don't. So they might be. I kind of like to think that everyone in these books are rational actors, are playing out like their own heroes story. Like if they're protecting their
just
child,
trying to
like
make it work.
like
Yeah,
they
they're
all got
all-
little child buyers at home in little cribs, and they're like, God damn it! I gotta feed the child. I gotta protect the child buyer. What do I do with this fucking child buyer? It shits and cries a lot. Yeah. So you get so
He's clearly a fussy baby.
yeah. So yeah, I mean,
Feed me the dark one. No, you only the light.
but I mean, you gotta imagine you love child buyer, and you grow to love child buyer, and you want to protect it. And I would do anything to save and protect my little child buyers. If I felt that there were witches who were ascending to power, and I felt like I needed to band together with my fellow, fathers and mothers of child buyer, right? Like, I who knows? Like, what I'd be doing? I might be, with a sunburst on my breast.
Yeah, maybe.
Which, well, I mean, I might already have one from Venice back in the '80s, but
Yeah, I don't know that yours would be battle worn and travel.
more droopy and
Yeah, you have a
sun
sublime
blotched.
tattoo.
Girl, is that
don't you, Ryan?
mustard?
Is that mustard?
So a child buyer splits.
It's art.
And in comes. I wanted you to do a pronounce this of this, but I'll go ahead and I call him Yakim Carradine. Yakim Carradine.
I say Yakim.
Yakim Carradine.
Yakim.
Anointed of the light, inquisitor of the hand of the light. And he is part of that the inquisitors, those questioners that we were talking about. Him, yeah. How do you pronounce this?
Joachim Carradine.
Jacquim. I like that.
Okay, so I said
Joachim.
pronounce this.
Yakim.
Yakim Carradine,
Yes.
anointed of the light, inquisitor of the
Nice.
hand of the
I like
light.
that.
Very well done.
Yes. No one can see your gestures.
I went.
Awesome.
So he comes in, and he kind of just fronts on our good man Pedron. He's like, "Yeah, you're probably referring to the news that Child Buyer just brought." And he's like, "That motherfucker! Only 3 people are supposed to know, and he's not one of them." So he's not in as tight control of information as he thinks he is. And Yakim, Phoenix says he calls him right out, tells him right off the bat, like spills the beans, like, yeah, must be Child Buyer told you that shit, right? So Carradine had just a few weeks before he had called Jeffrey Bornhold a dark friend for going to Falma, for not hanging out and ragging all the little villages. He went to go take on the Shanshin, and this was against Carradine's orders. And he called him a dark friend. He's like, well, I don't know now. He's dead, so who knows? But yep, I'll stand by it.
Go ask him.
They mentioned Archer Hawkwing was there. It was his armies that came across. They even mentioned the Heroes of the Horn. All these rumors,
The undead
all these
heroes
rumors
of
are jumping around.
Mm-hmm. Which are
Yes,
they
Case
ghosts?
Sedai.
Are they
Right.
ghosts or bodies?
Ha!
Case Sedai and I had this discussion earlier. Are they ghosts or bodies? Ghosts.
No, I think they're tangible in some way. I don't think they're ghosts. I think they have to have some sort. They're just the undead coming back. Like I think, in some type of Walking Dead scenario situation.
In a vehicle.
You know what I think?
Yeah, vehicle.
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, Josh.
Ghost or body, Josh? Ghost or body?
Which? Sorry.
Heroes of the Horn.
Heroes of the Horn. They're like projections, like holograms, but they're projections of the light, right? They're like angelic, hyper real things that come, on the edge of the dimensions and like manifest themselves in the world. Otherwise, like, why would he be fighting in the sky? Like, clearly we're meant to perceive.
Yeah, but how do they fight at all? How do they even inflict
It's an energy battle. It's an energy battle, I think. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's all like the I mean, again, that's a chapter we're experiencing through the eyes of our hero. So, like, we see it as though we're the holy person experiencing this sort of like, again, like a biblical thing. It's sort of like manifestation of this turning of the wheel that is part of the metadrama. It's like part of the structure of the universe that we're in, that these things like repeat themselves over time. That's like how it all works, right?
Yeah. The wheel of time.
It's
it's a freaking wheel. It keeps on happening.
If I was a hero of the horn, my first thing I would do is I would like go and say I'd greet the horn blower and I'd go up to him and I'd say, high five. High five. And then like they try and give me a high five
on the ass and like a little
nice
job, baby.
I think like half the time like I'll be like, oh, and he'll pass right through my arm, and then sometimes I'll just be like, I'll give him a little high five. I don't know.
A nice resounding high five.
Yeah, I think like if it's an energy battle, then they probably can go in different like. I think they can go to mist. I think they can make their mist forms into like.
Well, it's like clear that time sort of broke down for them as the characters of this thing. Like everything became all mushy in the way that time was described and like the way events repeated themselves. It was like this psychedelic kind of moment that we experience with them of like, and you hear like Olympians talk about doing their event or people about the heat of battle. And it's always like that. It's this like non-representational reality that they remember as a part of experiencing this like historic thing. It's not like a snapshot in time where we're seeing all the events laid out for us, right?
Well, and also, I mean, and memory itself kind of, we now know memory is like iterative.
Well, and in Ram's eyes, when he was fighting, he was, to him anyways, he would look down, and when he was losing, the army and all the heroes were losing, and when he was winning, then the army and all the heroes were winning. And it was all tied to him through his own mind. I'm not sure if that was true or not, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they are physical, actually. The heroes are physical because they were fighting. How would they fight hand-to-hand combat with human or other?
Thank you, Todd. But Josh seems to think it's a light situation, like an energy thing.
I think the whole thing is metaphysical.
Energy, metaphysical.
I would say it's both. I think it's like intertwined. They kind of go in and out. But they're physically battling.
I know. Choose a side, Todd.
Choose both.
Well, we don't.
One side or the other, Todd.
We don't hear about any heroes dying in this battle. Do you think that was possible?
My side, always.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, the heroes themselves are, as we see, are a part of this story, this mythos that the universe is repeating. They're not. They're all of these things at once, and they're the repetition of each of these events. Like he becomes Luz Theron when he enters these zones, right? Along with all of the other people who are in between in the countless iterations of the wheel, and we see him have these like flushes of memory and like all these things that aren't directly from his experience. So he's clearly a part of this like stack of turtles, the stack of heroes that has transcended through time. And he's representing, again, at this moment, this cycle of the wheel, but it's not just him. It's like him and all of the past repetition of those events that are like living through him. So that's why I think it's metaphysical as well as physical. I mean, yeah, there may be a battle going on, like, but could you walk up and put your hand between the swords and have your hand be cut? I don't know. Like, it's hard to say.
Well, I mean, do you think that a hero could be killed in this battle? Are you talking? I can't hear you.
Oh no, we lost you.
Did you get me?
Now
Am I
we
back?
got you. Yeah.
You're
Oh,
back.
okay. Sorry. Yes, I do think that they could. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I'm back and forth because I have no idea. I can only speculate from what we know that they do have some sort of ability to harm each other and to hurt each other and to, just to be tangible.
Yeah.
But also,
that-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, it is a metaphysical / tangible
Todd,
situation.
Yeah.
Do you think that a hero could have died in this battle?
I don't think
And
so. They have like unlimited lives.
I imagine they die and they just get sent back to the lobby. They're like, damn it.
Dang it.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah.
Ding.
Unlimited
Well, I think-
lives. And they
Unlimited
say
lives.
it too.
it's all about
They
bringing
say-
back the undead
They
heroes,
say that we
right?
have like all the time too. They're like, oh, we have all the time.
all the time.
All the time, right?
They do. They say they have all the time.
They do say
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I think if it was a part of the story, they could have died. Certainly. Like, if part of the story of the wheel required a hero dying at that moment to capitulate that moment in time, sure, one of them could die, right?
If the pattern required it.
required it. I mean, just to amend my answer a little bit, but
Nice.
Nice.
Love that.
Did you say
Okay.
amend your answer?
amend my answer a bit.
Oh, amend. Okay, not amend. Speaking of men,
Shoot.
Yeah. amend.
what do you? Now that we're getting on metaphysical, what do you think men's ability to see these visions says about the structure around of time?
Well,
Good question.
yeah, that's a good question. When she looks at Rand, and maybe someone else thinks this too, like, she gets confused readings, right? Like, she doesn't see, like, when she sees him, she sees a blur, sort of, I think it's described as in the text. Which, may mean that we're seeing his uncertainty and accepting his own destiny, right? Or it could be that his path is the reforger of destinies, and he can take this any way that he pleases, depending on his choices within the situation. How much of this is capitulation versus how much of it is in his free will is, I think, an important question from the first two books.
Yep.
We're kind of left with.
How much is it? How much is within Min's free will too, though? Is my
Like, how much
question.
of it is her perception versus, like, her perceiving something that's external to her?
Sure. Josh. Let's put it that way instead.
No, I'm trying to understand.
No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Yes. Yeah, honestly. But also I think that she's just has these different perceptions of everything though, and she's just able to do different things and has a different perception about everybody and I'm sorry, I'm listening.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, and the question of whether it's a gift or a curse is one that remains, I guess,
Gift
with
or
her as
curse.
well.
And is she seeing reality, the future, or is she seeing symbols that represent, what their role is in the turning of the wheel? I don't know. Like,
She's been
There's
adamant
more
that
like
if she is able to understand what the bizarre symbol means, that it will come true. She's like, I'm not wrong. If I know what it means, if I can interpret it, but everything I see seems to be really
What
going to
happens.
happen. I just don't know what everything is.
okay.
I know, but like again, like Josh
Yeah.
is saying though, that's what she says. And that's her perceptions of her own abilities. And
True.
she might
Yeah, that's-
inflate
yeah.
her own abilities. She might, maybe we're gonna have a big moment where she's ultimately horribly wrong, and she's got to like face that. I don't know.
Wait,
There's all sorts of weird shit going on, but like it seems weird that she's just so adamant. But maybe she's right. I think that uncertainty that Josh is talking about is really fun to play with.
And she is attracted to Rand, right? Like, she's like,
Very
I don't
much.
know, I have this like
Yeah.
attraction to you, I can't understand. And it's like, but he's also different to her when she looks at him than anyone else around, because he's a part of the turning of the wheel, presumably, right? That what's the term for that? It's escaping me right now.
TAVERN.
TAVERN,
TAVERN.
right? TAVERN, right?
TAVERN.
Tavern. Beer.
Okay, what's
Tavern.
the place
Tavern.
that I always get that confused with?
Beers.
Not the
Tarvalin,
tavern, the tavern.
right?
So with Carradine and Pedro Nile are talking here, and Pedro Nile starts to blow some minds a little bit. He hatches his plan. He thinks in his head, and now it's time to toss the dice. But this is before, or right after, he had threatened Carradine's life, more or less. He says, "Your plans are done with Carradine. Perhaps I should hand you over to your own questioners right now." He's gnashing his teeth to find someone to blame for what happened. He would never put forward one of his own, but I doubt he'd quibble if I named you. A few days into the question, and you would confess to anything. Name yourself Dark Friend even. You would go into the heads and axe inside a week.
Yeah.
Heavy shit.
So does he have the gift of perception? Or is he just guessing well? Or is he just threatening? It's like, it's funny with what we learn about Carradine, that he was the man who the half-man comes and talks to, right? The Midriel.
Correct.
It's like, is he seeing with the power of the light what is really there in front of him and like acting on it? Or is he just being a condescending asshole and like...
He's a tactician. He's a brilliant tactician.
So that's a great question. He so he says right after that, he says, now time to toss the dice.
Mm-hmm.
And prickles ran across his skin, and that's when
He's
he said,
like,
"Yeah,
power."
don't kill him." Prickles.
Prickles, isn't that how Rand describes experiencing the one power?
that's
Channeling,
it.
yeah.
No, I thought that.
I didn't pick up on that
Prickles?
Prickles.
Yeah, he says it prickled his skin. He felt like a chill.
Yeah.
Like the same way that like Perrin describes it, or Rand describes like these moments of apperception that happen.
Maybe.
Well, I thought Rand's whole thing was like the back of his neck. He could feel it on the back of his neck.
Right.
And then someone is usually watching him, which I always thought like he had some sort of weird like neck power, like a neckdar.
It's another animal description, another animalic description. Sorry, Kate, go ahead.
Animalic description.
Animalic.
You're the best, Josh.
Yes.
I honestly, I love that.
Well,
I love that.
Wait, his Niall's prickles are very specific, actually. He says,
Tell me about it, Todd. Tell me about it.
No. He says,
it is.
as if he were in battle and had suddenly realized that every man for 100 paces around him was an enemy.
Right.
So his are very specific. I don't know, but that is also a very intriguing point you made.
It is kind of all this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a soldier. I'm sorry, Kay. I feel like you had something
I'm
to
not a
say.
soldier either.
No, I was
Oh, did I?
actually
Jumped in
going
on
to say
you.
something. So no, I was going to say something similar to Todd about just like in general. Actually, well, I guess it was a little bit different, but in general, he gets that feeling too, just when he is having some sort of like itch to use the power. Is what I've read.
So I think
Like the itch, right? So like there's
yeah, it's like this kind of
several
crawling up the
references to this
skin.
kind of feeling
Mhm.
that's itchy and weird and tickly, or tickly turns to itch and is like bothersome.
It's turns
Very
to
bothersome.
Twitch turns to.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think
I
about
remember
this
them
plan? This lion metaphor, you loose a lion in the city, and then you boldly kill it and start
Not just
telling
any
people what to
lion,
do.
a rabid lion.
A rabid lion. Thank you. Uh-oh, watch out. It's extra dangerous.
I mean, just-
And no, it's not a got milk commercial. It's actually rabid.
What do you think of this plan? He's like, don't kill Rand. We don't do it. Even though that's pretty much what they live for, is to kill channelers, it seems. But he's like, don't kill Rand. Whatever you do, don't do it. If he dies, you die, baby. If I die, you die, baby.
Yeah, if I die from natural causes,
You're still going down, man.
You're dead within the month, motherfucker.
And all of his family too, he says, right? I'll kill like all your family. It's like, Jesus.
One a month.
Jesus.
Well, and that's the dichotomy that our boy Carradine finds himself in, because the Fade pretty much gives him opposite instructions.
Go kill
and
him.
says, you kill that motherfucker, and if he's not dead in a month, I'm going to kill someone in your family. You don't know who.
And then every month after that, I'll just kill another one until I just take you straight back to Shia Ghul. We'll just figure it out there.
My bad.
Fuck off, Rand. Yeah.
The half man says that. I was thinking, oh shoot, you're right. I got that wrong, didn't I?
He says, you will be years in the dying, human. Yikes.
Years in the dying, which I mean we all are, really.
Yeah.
We all.
I mean, if you really
It's a
think
slow
about it.
process.
Nice.
Day after
Existential
day.
crisis for everyone now.
There you go.
Brutally real, Ryan. Brutally
Yeah,
real.
but I don't feel pain. I'm a puppet.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna
You never
poke you
age.
with little needles later.
Nice. We all need voodoo dolls of Ryan and Dan. So that
I'll
Someone
give
get
one
on
to
Mickey
you.
Mouse for
I
us.
would totally give one to you guys, because no, you would suddenly I'd be like, oh, my sciatica feels better, and then 3,000 miles away, Josh is just playing with a little needle in my butt, and he's like, that probably worked. Well, thanks, Josh.
Your butt.
You can think about me all day long.
Boy,
Dear.
that's
Needle
magic.
might be accurate. I have no idea though.
I'm up for it.
Oh,
Damn.
dang.
So, do you guys have any thoughts about this conversation that they had about what? No, come on, Ryan.
I think there are lots of thoughts about this conversation, Dan.
I mean,
Brother
as far as keeping the dragon alive, telling
yeah.
Carradine, I'm going to kill you if you don't.
Don't care. No, I'm just kidding. I really care.
That's
A
all
lot. Like so much. It's
So
ridiculous.
he leaves, and Ordith
Pops out.
slimes in.
Yeah.
And Niall's like, I showed you that passage, Ordith, so you could come when I summoned you without half the fortress knowing. Not so you could listen to my private conversations. But Ordith's like, no, I just heard you say line, that's all. That's
No
all.
way I did that.
I don't listen to
Swear.
your stuff.
Swear. Yeah.
We find out that a month before, in the dead of winter, the gangly little man had arrived in Amadisia, rugged and half frozen, and somehow managed to talk his way through all the layers of guards to Pedro Nile himself. He called himself Ordith, which means wormwood in the old tongue. Sounds like a Harry Potter thing. And whenever he asks him about his past, this is a cool phrase that Ordith says. He says, "Who we were is lost to all men, and life is bitter."
Damn.
Fucking A.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
Just lays it down. Yeah.
So apparently, Ordith and Josh, you were mentioning who your thoughts on Ordith are.
Right. So, kind of what got me thinking about it was like the description of how he arrived as this sort of like animal who had been beaten down and crawled through the dust to get there, which we see with Paden Fane throughout the second book. This sort of, again, description of him as like an animal, whether like the rats and the other creatures that the Dark One uses to do his bidding. And it sure seems from his description and like sort of the information that he has, their names and like detailed information about them, that he is an outside observer in some way. Who knows where his ultimate path originated? I mean, it could have been where what do you call them? Not the Sei-Chan, the
Shanshan?
San-Chen? The San-Chen. And again, like we learned too that Niall doesn't believe in the San-Chen, essentially, that like all of these ships that like tried to go there basically turned around. And I mean, there's clearly some like information being peddled down that they are this like mythological return of the soldiers of the previous generations of heroes from afar, that we know that they believe themselves to be as well.
And they Carradine did kind of poo-poo some of those. He's like, across the
Yeah.
Aerith Ocean, no one
Like,
goes
come
across
on.
the Aerith Ocean. No one does it. Trust me.
Trust
So
me,
far,
like I'm
yeah.
not giving you this information right now.
They said that they were fighting people with monsters. It's got to be Trollocs, right? Duh. Come on,
Duh.
trust me.
Yeah,
No one thought Trump would get elected. No.
exactly.
Trollocs.
And Ordith does kind of have this information about like sarcastically being like, oh yeah, he's the false dragon. Clearly like implying that he's the real dragon along the way.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, oh, right. But he says, oh yeah, I know him. That's Randall Thor.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
like, he's
Randall
from the
Thor.
Two Rivers. He's like,
Yeah.
I know
it's
someone
not
else.
weird that I know him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, there's someone else mentioned someone from the Two Rivers. Oh, you mean Paranai Byra or Matt Coffin? I know them all.
Matcham
yeah,
Coffin.
And they're like,
Protect
he's like,
one,
"How
kill
the-
the other. Right?
How the fuck do you know these dark friends? He's like, oh, I just hate them. I just hate dark friends. That's all.
Right.
You
I
know
mean,
me.
it does beg the question of if Niall is like perceiving this as part of his view of the
Oh, you
world.
mean
because-
Niall?
Niall?
Niall? Right.
Okay,
I
Joan,
wasn't
Niall.
sure.
Niall, yeah. That Niall is like, if he is perceiving these things as a byproduct of his belief in the light and being some like true believer, we do learn that like that view is being tainted, at least, kind of, by either misinformation or by this representation of the Dark One like masking himself from the rest of the world, right? Like all of these perceptions, if we do filter them through his worldview, like they all have been tainted by this like shadow, sort of.
Wait, who?
Niall, right?
Okay,
Like the way he describes the world and like the state of the world, right, is like that they're going to come out on top,
Oh yeah.
and that no matter the state of this other stuff, that like this is the story that matters, right?
Yeah, he was convinced of how the last battle is going to fold out, how everything's going to play out, and he was convinced that he was going to be able to marshal everything
Right,
to,
his
to-
troops
to his
and-
personal advantage, like
Right.
which is what makes him, I think, a really scary
Or delusional.
player. Well, yeah, or
Right.
both. But he's also hyper rational and able to, ascend to the ranks he has, and and suss out shit that
But if some of them are dense, like the first character we meet, and some of them are dark friends, like the second character we meet, that's not a very good track record for like who your followers are and whether or not your perception of reality is
It's
going to
the
be.
blind leading the deaf. Okay.
You know?
Oh my gosh. Seriously. It is just a shit show.
But I also like the way he thinks, and like it's why I think it's interesting that I question whether or not he really believes his own beliefs. Is like, do the White Cloaks believe in the last battle? Do the White Cloaks believe that is what is going to happen, like other people do, or do they have their own set of beliefs about the last battle? I don't know what the whole,
Yeah.
what they all kind of believe, what their belief systems surround themselves with, but
It feels to me, again, like kind of religious. Like these are people who they see their role in this thing and they're able to capitalize on it by understanding their role and understanding the mythos that they're living within, right? He knows it's been 3,000 years. He knows these are the happenings of the turning of the wheel to expect as a part of the cycle. And how can I then leverage that advantage in the game?
to your point, Josh, when your two choices are dumbass or dark friend, not super good.
Not super good. Exactly.
Yeah. But maybe I shouldn't be holding like Pedron. Like he's just like running like the most easily run like group of like soft-headed zealots, and he's
Right.
like, oh, I get these fuckers to do anything I want.
I can rule the world, no problem.
Maybe he's not that like conniving. He's just like diligent.
He just knows what he wants.
That's what he wants. give him that.
My phaser.
Dan, what's your understanding of the White Cloaks? Yeah, I'm smiling a lot. You just can't see it. What do you think that the White Cloaks believe in Tarmin Gaiden in the last battle, or is that Pedro kind of stepping out of form?
No, I do believe that they. This is something that I think exists. Just kind of common knowledge that eventually there's going to be Tarmin Gaiden at the end, and that's just how it works. So,
Mothers
think
tell
that,
their children, right? I mean, these stories as we learn.
Right. How about this? If Pedro Nile said, "I want every White Cloak to try and kill Rand," would Rand be dead? And to that end, like, if he believes the last battle is happening, is he like, maybe he just understands it's fruitless to send all my forces against this, because he understands destiny and he understands, like, it's not going to work. He's going to be like, he has to be there at the end, quote unquote, like the way he sees it.
So he's thought about this and accepts it. Yeah.
I feel like the implication is that Rand believes that he can change the turning of the wheel. That it doesn't have to be the same every time. That, I think we just don't know yet, like, whether that's true. Whether free will can win out over destiny is, like, one of the central questions of the story, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nice summation.
Like and subscribe, everybody. If you're liking this kind of content, look at what this man brings to the show.
Hey.
He's gonna be here all week. Tip your bartender.
So we jump to Carradin's point of view. He goes storming back to his room. His room is pimped out. He's got nice carpets. He's got nice shit. Doesn't even look at it. He's like, oh man. He's looking for Charbon. He's like, that motherfucker, Charbon. I'm gonna be that fucking guy. He hears the door close. He's like, Charbon, you fucker. And guess what? It wasn't Charbon. Bump, bump, bump. Pronounce this. Martin Sheen.
Master Sheen. No.
So there is a fade, a Mirror. He says, where there is shadows, there may I go. Boom. Very poetic of you there, Fade. And he pretty much, so Carradin's like, it's pretty funny. He's like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he said, wow, Dan, you're really into the reading.
Do you though? Do you?
I think he says light though, not fuck.
I serve the Lord of the Dark as you do. We both serve.
We both serve. Come on, man.
He's like, yeah, just anyone hearing that, he
team.
would have been dead.
No.
He would have been dead if anyone heard him say that. But there's a fade right in front of him. What are you gonna do? You gotta say you serve the great Lord of the Dark. And we hear that his orders were to kill Rand al'Thor. He said, "Why are you here, baby? You're supposed to be killing Rand al'Thor." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but my boss." He's like, "Your boss? That's cute."
Cute.
Yeah.
He the Myrddraal walks and like carves, starts dragging his nails across the wood, and it says thin tendrils of wood curled away from its fingertips. Pretty cool. And suddenly the fucking Fade grabs him by the face and lifts him up the ground off by his face.
Yeah, picture that. All right, so Dan, when you were reading it, did you reenact it like you do everything else?
So it says the Myrddraal moved faster than a striking viper, and that I did. I went shah, like, yeah, I did that.
You had fang marks on your neck. The next morning, you're like, what did I do? Like,
can't even see me. Yeah.
Whose face did you grab?
It was imaginary. It was
okay. Good.
But that imaginary face was dead, dude. I told him. And yeah, so he grabs him by his face, lifts him off the ground, says, quote, his heels rose up and then his toes left the floor. Grunting and gurgling, he dangled in the Myrddraal's grasp.
Jesus.
And pretty much says, quote, if this Randall Thor is not dead in a month, I will take one of your blood, a son, a daughter, a sister, an uncle. You will not know who until the chosen has died screaming. If he lives another month, I'll take another, and then another, and another. When there's no more of your blood living except yourself, if he still lives, I will take you to Shire Ghoul itself. You will be years in the dying, human. Do you understand me now?
No! God, please, no! No!
Yep. Yep.
Years and years of that. Just
No!
nonstop.
God, please, no!
Then the Mirrodral just throws him against the wall. Wham bam. And then is gone. Boom. Room was empty except for him. And Charbon comes in. He's like, "Oh, master, you all right? I got you some fruit."
Oh yeah, poor Charbon, dude.
With this
Penny
quote,
prunes.
with his
That's
good
what I
hand,
like.
Carradine struck the basket from Charbon's hands, sending withered winter apples rolling across the carpets, and backhanded the man across the face.
Yeah. I bet he would have picked him up with his hands if he could do it.
He said, "Fetch me paper and pen and ink. Hurry, fool, I must send orders." You just didn't know which ones to
Which one
send
to
and
do.
to whom.
Torn.
And stop making me feel bad about what I just did.
It ends saying, as Charbon scurried to obey, Carradine stared at the gouges in the tabletop and shivered.
Little foreshadowing there that he's going to follow the Dark One's orders. Who's scarier, Pedro Niall or the Dark One? Niall.
I mean, yeah, wherever shadows go, there may I go. It's kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a shadow somewhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
And that is the prologue to the Dragon Reborn here. Yeah, lots
so
of White Cloak
juicy.
stuff. We see that Carradine is a Dark One. He serves the Great Lord of the Dark. And his orders are to kill Rand. Straight up.
And
got a
keep
question,
him
guys.
alive. No.
Before we come to break,
Mm-hmm.
do you get the feeling that everyone who's a dark friend makes the choice willingly?
No.
Yeah, they're definitely.
No, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah. No. Good.
I
Yeah.
got a feeling.
I wouldn't know why I felt this at this point too, but I mean,
I don't-
can't-
Yeah. I think I have some really weird assumptions too, but or just anyways.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it like you willingly get, like, you have to, like, willingly enter, and then all of a sudden you get your whole family fucking threatened and your life's at, like, put at stake, or is it like, you know, that's our, you know, do you feel compelled? Are some of these dark friends feeling compelled to be a dark friend?
It
Does that
seems
make-
like as like the people like the can channel start channeling, then they start to want to do that more. Like Rand has the whole like itch thing we were talking about, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, the males-
it seems like that becomes really right, and they go crazy and all that. But yeah, I don't know. What do y'all
do you
think
guys
about the
think?
I
females?
think it's willingly at first, and then they realize like, oh fuck,
Really?
now my soul is gone. Well, no, I think they come from a place where
I have
they're
no
looking
freaking
for-
idea. Yeah.
No, they're looking for like quick solutions to problems that they can't solve. So they feel like powerless. All these people that go to become dark friends, they've been hurt somehow, or they feel powerless, and they think that the Dark One offers this quick solution.
Flicker, flicker, flicker.
Yeah, like, oh, you'll be great, and you'll all those people that have put you down and made you powerless, they will bow to your feet, you know. So I think they do it willingly at first.
Okay.
Kind of get
Yeah. Inktar talked about it almost as if it was a logical decision. You know,
right.
the blight is just constantly encroaching on his lands, and he just thought this was almost like a hard
the
logic.
solution. Yeah, a quick.
But then it's like once you have the power, then you don't know if it's a good thing or an evil thing, or
And then
It
you have
depends on the person.
Or then,
And then
they
you have
Maybe.
realize they
yeah.
don't have the power at all.
Or then you have like Pater, who like ran like punches in the face. He's like a little dude from I don't remember exactly where. Shame on
White
me.
Bridge?
I don't like. Yeah, maybe. Or somewhere around there. Was it White Bridge? Anyway, so yeah, he punched him in the face. Like, did that guy like wake up one day and just be like, oh man, I really want to be a dark friend?
I feel powerless. I want to be a dark friend.
Are they cajoled? Are they coerced? Is it like oh, my uncle's a dark friend? Is it like a neighbor? Is it you? I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's as far as like conscription, but I think they definitely have free will. I mean, otherwise, why would Rand have those encounters with the Dark One that he has, where it's like the Dark Friend trying to get in? I feel like it's a little Star Wars even, where it's like, you must turn to the dark side. Like at least that's my cultural reference for it, so I kind of perceive it through that lens.
That's a
of
great
like,
reference. Yeah.
Do it.
You can only become dark by choosing it, but then it's sort of like an addiction from there that flows.
Or
right?
you'll become more powerful joining the dark side.
Right. That's the perception. And then you start to learn the costs. I mean, again, it's all sort of like what you saw about Satanism in like the 1990s. Like, don't try Satanism. I don't know if you were a conservative Christian like I was growing up. Like, this is the kind of stuff you would be shown like about Satanism and this idea of like turning to the darkness and then the costs accumulating over time and like hang out more of your soul.
They sacrifice.
Do you remember when Satanism was really just putting shit backwards on albums?
The good old days.
The good old days.
Yep.
If I could say, Ryan, real fast, the way that I kind of
Faster.
think it is that
I need a beer faster.
so here we have gambling here in Detroit. There's 3 casinos. And if you have an issue with gambling, you can put yourself on a list. It's called the disassociative person list, in which you are banning yourself from casinos. You're pretty much signing saying, I have a problem. If you see me walk in this door, kick me out, more or less. And if you win, they will take your money. You will actually be arrested for trespassing. And this is a lifetime thing. Now, there's lots of people that are on this list that don't necessarily want to be on it anymore. They made a decision when they were in a certain spot in their life, but now they kind of want to, sports betting is legal in Michigan. They want to maybe do a little of that. They have it under control, but it is still a lifetime ban. And that's kind of like the Dark One. You sign this list, you think you're doing something good for yourself, and you just can't get off it.
Sorry.
That's an amazing analogy, Brother Dan. I love that.
Signed in blood.
Thank you.
That's great.
Well done.
Well, I kept hearing it does not apply to Michigan disassociative persons. And I was like, what the fuck? What does that even mean? So
Well, I mean, like,
Googled it.
yeah, I mean, one could look at you and I and say we have like dissociative identity disorder, but that's a whole nother ballgame.
Why would Puppet
Oh
say
my
that, Ryan?
gosh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Why would Puppet
DID? I
That was
did.
the first thing I thought about. DID. All the way. You did.
I did
Indeed,
it.
you did. You did. You did.
Oh, no, you did.
Did.
All right, everyone, we are going to take a break. Yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to listen to the musical meanderings of Brother Dan and I. Brother Dan came and visited me, and we should have done show work, but we did.
And we just jammed.
We just jammed a lot.
Perfect.
So we're going to hear, we're calling this Crooked Watt, and this is Brother Dan and I and our friend Joe on drums. Dan's on bass, I'm on keys, and we will be back in 10 minutes. Dan, what track should I put on?
Track 6.
All right, we're gonna go for track 6. Friends in the group, let's I'll mute our mics and we'll be back shortly. Guys, hang out. We're having a great time. All right, we're coming back, everybody.
Oh yeah.
We are all ascending to normalcy.
I got another beer.
Well done.
Is that a disembodied voice?
Who is that?
Yes.
Thank you for that, Ryan. That was fun.
That was
That was
super
awesome,
fun.
boys.
All right. We need to bring in the next chapter 1 with a round of pronounce this.
Yeah, and Josh, you are muted. So you know.
I think he knows.
Yeah.
He likes the effect.
Well, hey, man. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Chapter 1.
Such an
All right.
attention whore.
Pronounce this.
Are we ready for some pronounce this? This is short little
Like a
battle.
linguine dish.
Do it.
Like
All
a
right.
Santa dish.
And
Like second wish.
Yeah, brother Dan.
pronounce this.
Shinarians.
Ooh.
All right.
Awesome.
Shianarans. Shinarians.
Todrick.
Shine irons. Yeah. Shine irons. There we go.
Okay. Josh.
Shine irons.
Shinarans.
And
Johnson
Shonsony says.
Shinarans.
All right.
Josh.
Well done. Well done, guys.
All right. Next up. Pronounce this.
Yeah, close.
Let's start with K. K Sedai. Let's do that one.
Maxima, like, yeah. Maxima. Maxima. Maxima.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
Josh.
Masima.
Todrick.
Massima. That's how I say it.
All right. Do we have
Hardee's.
let's
Hardee's.
see.
They all had the RD.
Does Shonsony agree? Shonsony says.
Masema.
Oh, that came out of it.
Oh.
Wow, I thought it was
It's
Massima.
more of a
Maxima.
a feminine.
Masema.
Massima.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Wait,
well,
I think the three of us got it right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, no.
Well, Johnson is always right. Johnson is
Shons-
always right.
Yeah.
Right.
go-
Well,
yeah, we-
according to Shansony, well, it doesn't matter.
We
That was fun.
did
Up
We were
next,
very close.
Hardee's were too
yeah.
hard.
Hardee's or femininese.
All right.
Pronounce this.
That's yes.
Mini
All right. K Sedai.
Ray gone.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Shit.
All right, Josh. Let's just go in order. Josh.
Oh, God.
Ragan.
Todd.
Regan. That's how I say it.
Johnson says.
Ragan.
All right. I think
Someone got it.
someone. Wait. Way to keep score, Dan. Way to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to.
Good job. Good job, you.
Way to stay in the moment.
Way to go, friend.
All right. Up
everyone.
next.
Thank you.
What's this?
Yes.
Let's keep the order. Okay.
Faldara.
Josh.
Faldara.
Oh.
Jeez. Well, can I do mine again, please?
This was
Can I have
yours.
a
Yeah,
redo?
yes, you,
I
you
think
may,
we
you
all
may.
did it.
May I have a redo?
All right. No. Yeah.
Faldara. Yeah, that was absolutely.
Well, it could be.
Precisely, yes.
It could be.
I mean-
Faldara.
Oh, that.
Oh.
Wow, I absolutely agree with like that break though.
All right.
That was a very beautiful break.
I think he's. That's not.
Between
Is that your
fall
head
and
canon, or
dawn.
you're just showing off, Josh?
Wait, they got top knots, right? I mean, they're clear. They're like.
There you go. Top knots.
I feel like they're
Yes.
clearly the Japanese
The top now.
representation or whatever. You know, like we're the. This is like
Nice.
the Star Trek universe of
So much culture, so much
the
culture.
Wheel of Time.
In the
right?
Wheel of Time, it is crazy. So many cultures, a melting pot. Really. Fuck. of like everything, like LGBTQ. I mean, you talk everything is all
Everything
in there.
is yeah.
It's all in
I think
there.
it's all in there, right?
It's the yellow pages.
Are we saying it all?
Hey, Josh.
It could be Faldora the Explorer.
Eldora.
It could be called Faldara the Explorer.
Nice.
Todd.
But
I say it two ways, like Faldara or Faldera. I don't know.
Ooh, is it like
Depends
what
on my
side of the
mood.
bed you wake up on?
Yeah, it depends on my mood.
Oh yeah.
Like, when I read it, and I say it like both ways, so I don't know.
All right, you know what Chancellor says? Chancellor says facts don't care about your feelings.
Exactly.
Chancellor says
Faldara.
Faldara.
Yep.
Faldera. Yep.
Faldara.
You say Faldara. I say Faldara.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Keep it going. Pronounce this case. And I.
Perrin Ibarra.
Josh.
Perrin Ibarra.
Toddums.
Todrick.
Perrin Ibarra.
Chancellor says.
Perrin Ibarra.
All right,
guys killed
that
it.
was easy.
That was easy peasy.
I think we put the bumpers on the
Wow, on the alley lane.
Yeah. That was
No,
bumper
oh, wow.
bowling right there. All right, we're
Fuck off.
up in the ante. Oh,
we
wait.
want you to feel like you're doing well.
No, yeah. We're
Oh.
now
Just goading you along.
now we're
Everybody wins.
Well, Iker loins. I heard
The
that.
fluffer of the show. The fluffer. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Dan.
Not you, Chancellor. Not you. All right. So
Oh, no, not you, Shinzi.
up next is pronounce this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Tuathalan. Tuatha. No, Tuatha. On.
All right. That's that long. Tuatha.
Yawn. On.
Final answer.
That's that's how Obama would say that.
Final answer,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh,
Tuatha.
we were talking about the Tuatha.
Waltha. On. No.
On.
Let me explain one thing.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay. Yeah, one thing. And on.
All right, Joshy Poo.
Tuathana.
Ooh. Todrick.
Tuathan.
All right. Chancellor says.
Tuatha on.
Oh.
Tuatha on.
Tuathan.
Not nearly the pause that I was hoping for.
You know, it's not the pause I was hoping for either, Brother Dan, but I'm
it's
still happy with a bit of a pause.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm
not
taking that
it's
as a
not
win.
the pause you wanted, it's a pause you deserved.
Yeah.
I gotta
Thank you,
say,
yes. And a round of applause for everyone.
A round of applause.
yeah.
All right, up next.
That word is a pause in my mind. Like I would just skip Tuathanan and just like we don't know what it means. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say that shit in my mind. Too much work.
Please do not. That would be horrendous. I don't want to hear that shit in your head. I don't want to hear that shit in anybody's head, honestly.
All right. Todd, do you skip over words?
I'll say like tinks.
Yeah. All right.
Just be like, tinks, yeah.
Thanks. Pronounce this, Case and I.
Freaking Galeon.
Freaking gay.
Maybe like
hold on.
freaking Galeon.
You have like a hick accent or something.
Yeah, we went down the Gildon.
Hold on. All right, Joshy.
I do think they're on Earth.
Gildon.
All right, yeah.
I have my Geldar on.
You're Galdan.
Todrick, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Gale brother in the old tongue?
Brother Dan, it's Gale Dan.
Yes.
Gale Dan.
Ba-dum-bum.
Hopefully, I'll be a tropical storm soon, though.
Gale Dan, yeah. High, 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yes, Brother Dan,
Dude.
you're the best. Fuck yeah.
Fucking shit. All right. Chastity says.
Gildan.
Oh, like a
Gildan.
Gildon, like a more
Gil,
eel don lawn. All right, next up.
Man.
Pronounce this.
Yes.
Moiraine, said I. Oh, I hate. Okay, it's Okay, is it Moiraine or is it Moraine? Because I read it Moraine and then I heard it as Moiraine recently, so my brain is kind of a little bit fucked on this one. Sorry.
Okay.
No, yeah, thanks. No. Hey, well, I mean, it's a really it all depends on what Chastity says.
Yeah, all right.
There is a
so
right
I'll just
answer.
commit. I'll just commit to like the Moraine that I liked and how I like to hear it in my head.
Yeah, and we live in California, so Moraine.
Yep.
Josh.
Moiraine said I.
Oh, with a little trill, like a little Italian. All right. Todrick.
Moraine Sedai.
All right, Chancey says.
Chance.
Moiraine Sedai.
Bam.
Oh, see, all right. I want to go.
Got it right.
Can I get that?
Moiraine Sedai.
Leia.
Moraine.
Oh.
Every time I go back, I can't get it right.
Sedai.
Oh, what was there?
Moiraine Sedai.
It's
Moiraine Sedai.
all right. So
Moiraine.
Moiraine Sedai.
no, there's a moi with a W.
Moiraine.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Moiraine.
No.
Like she's blowing you a kiss? Like,
no,
mwah.
you guys are wrong.
Moiraine.
No, listen
No,
to
she's
it
like
again.
moi, like give me a kiss, moi, like old ladies
Maureen.
give you
Maureen.
kisses on the thing, moi.
Moiraine.
Here you
Like
go.
how Joan Rivers would
Yeah.
kiss people on the red carpet.
Everyone, shush.
It is. It's
Moiraine Sedai.
All right, here we go. Yep.
Moiraine Sedai.
All right,
Can
so
you slow it down a notch or two?
Yeah, you're all wrong.
They're all slowed down. Moraine
I
Sedai.
know that is.
Everyone is wrong. All right, last one.
All right. Sorry.
Pronounce this.
Leia. That's just me.
Leia.
Leia. Yeah.
All right.
That's gotta
Yeah,
be.
what a way to end this.
Yeah, what a dumb last.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
that
need
was
the
super
list,
boring.
Dan. Chastity
Wow.
Leia.
says Leia. All right, princess. All right.
What?
Leia.
All right.
Hey, well done.
Everyone.
Thank you, Shantony. That was very kind of you.
Put the drugs away. Put the drugs away. We're going live. We're going live.
And we are,
All
we
right.
are. Yeah, let's
Okay,
let's
whew.
fix that name. We'll fix that name.
We'll fix it.
No.
We will.
Chansonone.
Shinzonone.
And Sanane.
Yeah. We
All
will-
right. Well, now that you guys pronounced everything, well done.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
We're jumping
And
right in.
good night to you
We're
too.
jumping right in. Chapter
right to
one.
bed.
Chapter one is
Oh.
called Waiting. It has the two ravens. Morgan's tattoos on her arm are these icons. It's beautiful. That's a lot of ink. Man, that seems painful. Anyways, it starts with, as the last two books have started, it starts with the Wheel of Time turns and ages come and pass, etc., etc., etc. It also starts with the wind. This
I like
wind
the
is rose in the mountains of mist. It says the wind is
I
not
like
the beginning.
Can I?
Yeah, please. Yes.
I'm so sorry, but there's one specific thing in this
Talk to me.
art. You'd think I would get a stuffed nose with all this wind. We're talking about the wind. I just like that
That's
part.
awesome. Yeah.
Keep going.
Give me your thoughts. This is the third book that has started with a wind. Do you find a significance in that at all?
Symbol of
Oh
change,
well,
right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's constantly changing everything, but also yes, but also I think there are elements of Earth I don't know if that's what we're talking about right now necessarily, but wind.
Well, this was a authorial choice to start with a wind, and then the wind kind of flows over the landscape, and then it gets to eventually whose point of view the chapter is.
Well, it rose in
Knows.
it rose in the mountains of mist. I mean, it's pretty specific where it came from, right? It's like this is the wind. This is the butterfly wings flapping that caused the
Yes.
But
disembodied
it was not the beginning though.
right. Not the beginning. It's just the presage thing that presages changes.
Right.
Now, so do you think?
But it seems like it constantly changes, and then it like kind of overlaps a little bit, and then it changes again, and they like dart off into some certain directions in certain times, and
Right.
it just seems like there's all sorts of different stuff going on, you know, as far as like
Totally.
timeline when they are, as far as like when, and I'm sure we could have a whole discussion about when, right? But
Yeah, actually, absolutely. Let's get into that.
yeah, wind is amazing.
And to that point, in this chapter, we have kind of like a wind bookend, right? Like, I don't know if I can't remember if the first book and the second book have the same narrative effect, but in this chapter, the wind ends the chapter because it comes into play. It swirls around a bowl, takes the dragon banner and flips it in the air,
Throws it out,
and
right.
like and it's all like
right.
whatever, big big dick energy, just like, and then like a parent's like, well, welcome to the Dragon Reborn, but it was just like it. That's the same wind. It wasn't like it wasn't it wasn't a breeze. It wasn't a gust.
It was a stiff wind.
It was wind. It was a
Let's be real, and it was a stiff wind. It was a stiff wind from the.
If memory serves,
I want to say west, but
first book,
starts with a W.
the wind came down from the mountains of mist and hit at Rand as he was walking next to Bella on their way into Emmons Field. The second wind
Hits him on the
Rand
tower.
while he's on the tower,
Ding.
and it chills him again.
Mhm.
So the first wind, he wishes he had a bigger cloak. The second wind, he's working out and he's all sweaty and it hits him and he's chilled. Now this wind comes and it hits Perrin. And it says, Perrin, Albire shivered and tugged his fur-lined cloak closer, as close as he could with the longbow, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So the wind does kind of blow and affects, at least our point of view characters react to this wind. So I was just wondering, besides, so you're thinking it's more just indicating the change that is to happen?
Or actually, maybe more succinctly, is it just a narrative of like choice, or is it something?
I think it's something connected to the turning of the wheel. Yeah, it's like, this is what makes them TAVERN, is that these changes.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. What? Can you pronounce that, please? Because I had trouble understanding that because I read it a very different way.
How do you say that? I don't know.
In case I said that.
You're amazing.
Yeah,
Wait,
how
what?
How do you say?
TAVERN.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Like the TA apostrophe V or RON.
Todd,
I think it's TAVERN.
The top.
TAVERN.
Right?
See, we all we're the worst.
Wow, we are the worst.
We need a show can. We need a show can, guys.
What's the wait? What's
We need
This is chaos.
we need someone to see on tap. Just be like,
Where is she? I need her. Can we call her?
what do you all think of Perrin's character? Like, how do you
Oh,
how do you see him as a person? Yeah, right. No, that's what are the feelings you're left with the way that he like perceives himself and kind of like, I don't want to preload the thing, but how he treats himself and how he perceives the world. What do you make of him?
Well, it's very human, or just he has doubts, and he likes to really think things through. I don't know.
Actually, I think
he's like, yeah.
I think he is relatable. I totally agree with that. I also think he's like completely instinctual, actually, because he's related to the wolves and he's like completely becoming. Am I allowed to say that? Right, because we know all this, right? So
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everything he's doing right now has been very instinctual, and maybe it's been thought out a little bit more in the beginning, as he was, more of like a puppy state-ish, or what I like to refer in my notes as Perrin the puppy state.
He's maturing for sure. Yeah.
Before I knew he had anything to do with the wolves, but anyways, it's fucking crazy. I think he's very instinctual, honestly.
I think he's sort of a split personality, right? He's got this dichotomy of like
maybe a
push
bit of a
and pull
Gemini.
of the human and the animal. Like, it feels
interesting.
Has that like
He's
dichotomy in him.
Well, he certainly has a reluctance to accept this nature. He does not like looking people in the eye because he has yellow eyes, and that's freaky. He does not like
he doesn't mention his feelings, right? Either. Like, he doesn't mention them to his companions, and he even disavows his own sensations to himself as like, oh, I'm not going to pay attention to that,
Yep.
Well, and so
I can
because
relate
you
to
asked,
that.
there's even a line in here that says that mentions how even though Perrin is a giant, he's the absolute unit. He said he had begun shaving every day to stop their jokes about his youth. Friendly jokes, but still jokes. He would not have them start again because he spoke of a feeling.
Yeah, he's muttering to himself, "Fucking Animalic, I'm human Alec."
I'm not
Animalic, I'm fucking human Alec.
Ryan, this again goes to how we feel that the Two Rivers is damaged. They're young people with insecurities. They're always concerned about the people laughing at them. They won't share their thing. And this is yet again where he's shaving every day because someone probably said, "Huh, look at that beard. That's pretty funny, little. You got a little scruff there. That's cute." And he like got all embarrassed and probably would never live it down. Like, well, fuck them. I don't want that. And he's shaving because he's insecure and he can't take a joke.
Is that how you shaved it?
Yeah.
So
You're just gonna rub your chin back and forth?
Yeah, I cut myself a lot. A lot.
Aww.
Oh wait. Oh, do we need intervention? Welcome to an episode of Puppet Intervention, Brother Dan or Gail Dan.
We are here for you. We love you. This is a safe space, and you can be whoever you are.
Yeah. If you want a third eyebrow,
I love that rainbow in the
grow the
background,
third
by the
eyebrow.
way, and you just should be.
Embrace it.
there you go.
You.
Yeah.
Please.
You know what?
Genuinely.
You be you.
Since the war, actually,
Whoever that is.
Todd, what were you about to say?
Mental illness and all.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh no, we lost you.
Sorry.
Get used to it, everyone.
We'll be there.
I have been there already tonight, Todd.
Yeah, everyone's doing great, guys.
Yeah.
Josh, Kay, Sadai, this is amazing.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Todd, what do you think of your new compatriots?
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah,
Love you both. You take
Likewise.
the burden off my shoulders, answering all these questions.
Sharon being right or wrong.
Todd's gotten way more beer drinking in because he's not talking as much.
Kind of, yeah, it's great. I just love hearing your perspectives and just your ideas about it. And I kind of like, I feel like what Dan and Ryan.
Josh is still
like
highlighting. Did you hear that?
When I used to like talk about like my theories and stuff like that. So I don't know.
No, yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
great.
this
I
is
love
this
it.
is why we're here. We're here to just get some theories, man. We're here to talk book, man. This is a book club.
Talk book. Talk
Yes,
book.
this is the
Talking
best kind
why?
of book club, though. This is amazing. We have puppets
Yes.
Puppet
in our
friends.
book club.
Who drinks
the fuck? Yeah,
music?
the fucking nastiest
Gets
publishing
that?
event.
Who gets that?
So we see that Perrin is sitting with 5 other men, Shinarans, waiting. And it says here, there's quotes, the land seemed to be waiting for something to burst.
Mhm.
Later it said, it's as if he teetered on a brink, as if everything teetered. He wondered whether something unpleasant lay in the mountains around them. It's just a weird feeling. They've been sitting around. It is past winter. Winter's kind of going away down off the mountains. It's still pretty cold up in the mountains though. And there's patches of snow still everywhere, but it seems like winter's past. So we are, we're a couple months in now. The seasons have changed. They're looking around for something, and in fact, Perrin saw a rider. But as soon as he was going to say something, Massimo's like, Raven, and they just all shoot arrows at the Raven. Perrin gets there first. He won.
Of course. Yep.
Faster bow, bigger bow.
2 rivers.
But the Ravens are the Dark One's eyes, they call them, and it's known that they will report their whereabouts. And so Ravens are, I guess,
There's a bounty on them.
Yeah, there was a bounty.
That point is really weird. Perrin goes, can they see you? Yeah, he's like, what? So how's this work? Does he see what the Raven see, or does the Raven report back? And he says the Raven reports back. Like, what the fuck is going on there? Is it like he just plugs in
yes,
a computer plugs into the and downloads the last 10 minutes of the film?
No, I mean it's like remote vision.
Well, yeah, I understand remote vision, but reporting back is weird.
Well, that's the way that he.
Why can't reporting back be instantaneous? It doesn't mean he has to fly there.
No, he says he has to report back to him.
Here's how it states.
But you can interpret that 2 different ways, right?
It's answered though.
He says, does it have to report, or does he see what it sees? He says it has to report to the Halfman usually.
Yeah, but you're right. But how do they know that? I mean,
usually,
yeah,
that's a perception.
Usually,
that's
good. Oh, Todd, fuck you. Usually,
right.
He says it's there.
He said, if Heartsbane saw what the Raven saw, we would all have been dead before we reached the mountain. So he may just be assuming. You're right, Todd.
It was a matter of every day to a Shi'aran and soldier. I mean, it's what they're taught. It's their first worldview. Yeah. Again, it's like Perrin showing his difference from them.
Yeah. These innocent crows.
Or innocent
just going
crows.
about just going about trying to feed their family. Like I said, they got a little child buyer crows at home and thunk. Oh, I'm not a Darkfin. Oh.
So we get some. So guys, we're gonna play a quick
about
game.
Profiling.
We get some
profiling.
Guys, we get some cool names.
Profiling. Oh shit!
Nice. Oh,
Dan,
nice.
profiling is
That's
amazing.
very good.
Hey,
Profiling, yeah.
All ravens matter, dude.
All ravens matter. Yes, exactly. No, black ravens matter actually, but.
Yeah.
So we get Heartsbane.
Got me, dude.
We get Soulbane. We get Heartfang. We get Lord of the Grave and Lord of the Twilight. Father of Lies, Dark One. And it says, all to avoid giving him his true name and drawing his attention. Everyone flips out back in the day when he's like, I killed Shaitan. And they're like, shut the, what the fuck are you doing?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck are you doing, Rand? He's like, I did. I killed him. They're like, no. Don't say the name. Dummy. Just don't do it. So I
thought it was interesting that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please, no.
I was just going to say it's interesting in this passage too. We have one of these moments where the timing of the narrative just slips, where Perrin shoots the bow. He enters this state of being in the now, where like time doesn't pass and it all happens in this one fluid motion, and we see this kind of like jerk of time in the narrative motion, and you see that with Perrin a lot. Yeah, I mean it's something that like Perrin's character I feel like does in the different books is like these.
It says,
The
quote,
narrative,
even
like,
as he
flips.
spotted the raven, his bow came up and he drew, fletchings to cheek, to ear, and loosed, all in one smooth motion. He was dimly aware of the slap of bowstring beside him, but his attention was all on the blackboard. So yeah, it was a badass. That's actually kind of a pretty cool description of it too.
It's a really cool description.
All right, so Josh, that's so. I love what you're saying there. Like you feel like there's been narrative passages involving Perrin in the first two books that have had this effect that, like almost like he's like faster in
Like
time.
skipping through time, yeah, kind of like there's this like fractured sense of time that comes along with his character. I don't know. I can't remember the exact like places that it was, but
Kind of like
it's something that was familiar.
Interesting.
Well, what is interesting is that Perrin is usually considered measured and takes his time before actually saying anything or doing anything. He that was kind of emphasized ad nauseum.
And this is again where that dichotomy comes in, where suddenly he's like in the now and is like reacting so fluidly.
Like
back to Kay's point too, where he's instinctual.
Right.
Yeah. At the Horn of Valir, Matt was
Matt's
like,
just the
"Holy shit, you're the fucking dragon!" And Perrin's like, "Give me a stick!" And he's like, right, and he just like instantly goes off and gets like a pole, and is like starts flying the banner. And he's like, "Hey, if they need it, give me it." And there's no hesitation, and we see it even now where it's like he was watching Leia come towards them, and he realized she's off path, and he just starts. He has a whole retinue of people behind him. They start following him. He's like that kind of impulsive action. I think is a developmental thing for him. Like he never did that before. Like
Right, he became their leader like implicitly. It's like part of what's described in this passage is like,
Yep.
Yeah, I forget exactly where it is, but it it has something to do with like Uno's like deference essentially to his state of being.
Yeah. Well, he went, and then all of a sudden Uno is like, "Let's ride," or something like that.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Uno does walk up and asks him, "Do you see anything yet? You flaming flamer, flame, flaming, flame, baby, flame with a flame."
Good catch.
His tone was a little gruffer than he might have used with the commander put over him by the king of Shinaran or the Lord of Faldara, yet there was something of it in the readiness to do whatever Perrin suggested, right? It's kind of like, and the other thing is, what do you all make of the fiery red eye? Like, what is that representing? Like, is it just meant to color him as, I forget what word he uses, but...
a flaming asshole. Yeah, Case and I real quick. What were you?
He gives him a villainous. It gives him a villainous.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. It does give him villainous. Do you think there's like some sort of symbolism involved in the flame red eye, or do you think he's just doing it for effect? What do you think? What's your guess?
Symbolic.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's badass.
Yeah.
He's badass.
A permanently frowning eye and a fiery red. Hell yeah.
Frowning eye.
Or is it just the soldier trying to make themselves disconcerting to their enemy?
It doesn't feel like effect because it says permanent. So.
Right.
See, I look even tougher right now, and I don't even have a flaming.
Yeah, you just have your hand over your eye, and it's not even your own.
So there's this whole thing about there's a whole thing about prophecy and like self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, you could argue that some of the things that men had prophesied, the people heard about, and it might have influenced their choices. Maybe Uno was the same situation. Like he was born, and his mommy and daddy, who loved the little child buyer Uno, they named their little child buyer Uno, and that inevitably got him his fucking eye popped out. Like that's a self-fulfilling prophecy of Uno's life.
That is.
Yeah, right. Or is it the other way around? Like he fucked his eye over and he's like, come Uno.
Did you know it's ironic? Loyal was back in high school a dedicated cheater. He was not monogamous at all. Every girlfriend he had, he cheated on.
This is the way.
But his name is Loyal.
Loyal.
All right.
I thought that this other passage was interesting too, where they say that the Shienarans seem to accept everything and anything. It's kind of like this cultural reference to like, I don't know, like Zen Buddhism or like
Yeah.
the sort of Eastern
Totally.
sort of perception of the reality of change and like the I Ching, that kind of passage of time through a set of symbols.
Josh, I got to interrupt your brilliance. Black Tower Podcast says they were playing a card game, and at the same time Uno was born. The doctor at his birth asked what his name was, and his dad won the game of Uno.
Uno!
That's we love you.
What?
Yeah, BTP.
That's awesome.
We love
That's
you.
canon right
His
there.
middle
Yeah,
name is
Black Tower.
Draw 4.
Podcast. Nice.
No.
To your point, Josh, that passage goes on. So it says they seem to accept everything and everything.
Oh yeah.
The world was changing, they said. Everything spun on the wheels of chance and change. If a man had eyes, a color of man, no man's eyes had ever been, what did it matter now?
Yeah.
And it's interesting too, we're on the spinning wheels of change now as opposed to rolling the dice that we saw in the first. Like there are these different representations of like the way that chance and the random number generator like get expressed through the different cultural lenses, right, of the different people.
Yeah,
Yes.
I imagine the
So
Shienarans
many
would not
cultures.
have an issue with like any like of the new like LGBT issues. They're like, oh, gender is fluid. Fuck yeah,
Whatever.
Oh, yeah,
It's just so many cultures
you got,
wrapped
like, 2
into.
parts, 3 parts. Whatever, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
The tapestry.
Yes.
And what I love about this more than anything is there's not a one-to-one relationship between cultures. He doesn't. He's not like just mocking up like one culture and like calling it Shanshan and looking at like one area of the world and just calling them the Daio. It's each one of these cultures are like a blend of many cultures, and he made a point to do that. So there's nothing racial about it. There's nothing modernly racial in a way that
I don't know. I mean, he maybe tried, but it's like some of the strokes are a little broad.
Well, I mean, once we get
But
further,
yeah.
real quick, once we get further in the series, that might make more sense.
Right.
I think that's let's not. I'm choosing to think that nothing here is just like an accident or him just being a weird writer. Everything's on purpose. So I think that's all. All that heavy-handedness might be on purpose also. So
It better be Ryan. No,
Yeah.
Well, regardless of where you're from in this land, y'all fucking hate the traveling people, right? Jeez.
Gypsy.
This writer is.
But see, that's just another example of like cultural appropriation. I mean, that's a useful stereotype because it's something that was real in the world, right? Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
There's some of this stuff is just painted in a really broad stroke. Where of course you hate the gypsies, everyone does, right? Like that's part of the mythology of our world
gypsies.
that translates across. That makes this feel like Earth, like you're saying, Kay. Like there are a lot of these references to it being a part of Earth, or at least following patterns of representation that we all understand as Western
I think
cultural.
Yeah, exactly. Like all of the references that we were speaking to about, like in our previous conversation, it was just about, I think it really is Earth. I think they're on Earth. It does make sense. The physics are the same. The land is the same. There's wind. There are trees. There are pines. There's so many references to the physics of Earth and just the nature in general. and in different time periods too. So like, I mean, things being just obliterated and gone all of a sudden to like these lush landscapes and these weird, great, gigantic structures that are overwhelming. It all seems like it's very relevant to lots of different time periods and in our world and in Earth's history.
What do you think, Todd? Are these books on Earth or somewhere else?
I've grappled with that question throughout the whole books, and I don't know. I'm still kind of, I'm still hoping that it is, but I don't know. Because like, it's fantasy, so it's, Robert Jordan, George R.R. Martin never said that the place that the Game of Thrones was in was Earth. So I don't know. I hope it is. I hope that the idea that there was advanced cultures that predated this, like tens of thousands of years ago, highly cultures that predated this present time, gives hope to that. Maybe that this could be Earth. Or they find like the Statue of Liberty, like with its arm out of the thing, like in
The torch was there.
There might be a scene like that. There might be a scene like that where there's something that comes up. It's like, wait,
Planet of the Dragons.
What do you think?
The Eiffel Tower, the peak. I don't know.
I don't think it's Earth. I don't think it needs to be. But I mean, I do agree that
that's kind of what
there's a lot of representations of our culture and planet in it. But I mean, I'm hard pressed to find a part of the continent that looks like what this map does. But I don't know. I don't know that it matters. I mean,
that's true.
Could it be Pangea?
That's totally.
It doesn't.
Who knows?
Plate tectonics. All the
yeah, it could be
plates
plate tectonics. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. We're looking
the
at
ice. The breaking of the world fucked up all the tectonic.
Oceans moved. They sunk seas
moved.
and raised mountains. That's a good explanation if you didn't know what plate tectonics were, of how everything ended up the way it did.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to find my notes about this in the earlier books because
I'd love to hear.
I started this whole thing about like, this is Earth. It would like, where are we? When are we? What are we? What? Who? How? What the fuck? Okay. And so I would,
bring them out. Yeah, I'm open to. I mean, it's just a perception. I don't really know the answer either.
Do you think we're going to have any aliens?
It's just we don't know right now.
Aliens.
Or anyone from a different world? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that we have an explanation for what the like monsters of the Seichan or are, or like, I mean, there's no need for an alien at the moment in the narrative structure, but
yeah, okay,
not at all.
I would highly welcome it.
Yeah,
that'd be so
if this turns into a science fiction all of a sudden, that'd be kind of cool.
It's all sci-fi. What are you talking about?
Oh,
it's all sci-fi. Wait.
Okay.
Come on. I mean, even if it's on Earth, it's still freaking magic and things that don't happen that we know of in this specific age, if we are in the wheel of time. Ish.
Yeah, I mean, science fiction and fantasy, I think it's one. Yeah, it's a multiplicity, like you said. You're right. I don't know how much science there has been yet, but there's certainly been a lot of fiction.
There's been a lot of fantasy. Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of both. That's what I think.
Interesting.
Nice.
So they bring this woman they start going back to Moiraine. She apparently has had all kinds of visitors. All kinds of ladies have been coming. And I'll read it real fast. It says, quote, the women they had sometimes met and guided even deeper into the mountains included every sort. A begging woman who in rags struggling through a snowstorm. A merchant by herself leading a string of laden pack horses. A lady in silks and fine furs with red tassels.
Whoa, nice freeze.
Wow.
Perfect stillness, Dan. That's amazing.
This is.
We lost Brother Dan, dude.
He found
I did too. I lost
super
him at the
creepy.
very end.
He found the flame.
Did you lose him, Todd?
I lost him, yeah.
I lost him at the very end, where I think they're referring to his brother Dan. Do you mind doing just the last bit again
We lost.
Come on, Dan.
We lost.
for us, please?
The beggar to
Dan. Yeah.
All right, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
That flaming carry-on eater. Oh, wait. That wasn't Dan.
Oh, Wi-Fi can suck a dick.
That flaming Wi-Fi better flame and not go off again.
Suddenly, you guys were all dark boxes just with a spinning wheel. I'm like,
Flicker, flicker, flicker.
Tell us. Are you pulling? Why are you gouging your eyes out, Dan? What'd you say?
Am I looking like I see things that I didn't want to see?
You did.
I have a
Yeah,
faraway
I thought you were in
stare.
a trance. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought you were. Yeah.
So, anyways,
You
there's
left
all
again.
kinds of women came. Beggars. The beggar left with silver. Perrin's like, wow, that's a lot of silver. But then the lady left an even fatter purse of gold. Women from every station of life, all alone, from Terrebonne and Galdon and even Amadisia, and now a tinker. He's like, well, what do you know? Moiraine knows everyone. She's having little parties in her tent. And he never knows what they're talking about. No, do you guys, what do you think is going on? What's going on with Moiraine?
I think she's always up to something, though. I don't actually know. I was like, I don't know in my head, and I always think she's up to something.
She's
This
having a
is
lot of visitors.
Very unspecific, but yeah.
She's holding court.
And she's not sharing this information.
Typical of her.
Yeah. Any ideas, Todd?
All right.
What she might be trying to achieve?
Yeah, she's just gathering information. It's a fact-finding mission. Just intelligence. Just so she can make her next move. Total
she's
Moraine style.
Parents, sorry, it's classified.
Sorry.
Sorry, bro.
I'll let you know when you need to know.
Boy.
Let you know when you need to know.
Perrin talks to Leia, and actually they had to go get her. She would have missed him. She was about 30 yards away or something. They surround her. She seems all fine. She doesn't smell afraid. And Perrin's like, God,
I better not do that.
stop sniffing. But he walked up and sniffed her butt, and he's like, oh man, I shouldn't do that. And goes through the whole routine that he generally seems to go
That's
through with
true.
all the women. He's like, hey, you need help? They're like, no, I'm looking for
So painful.
a woman.
So
Right.
painful.
You just
So
strike it out
painful
every
to
time.
watch every time. And there's no need for it. I mean, there's just no need for it. You just keep saying the wrong fucking thing. It's a little bit annoying. He's got great instincts and he knows what he's doing, but he just doesn't know what he's doing.
Flails when it comes to talking
Right.
about it.
And I think that they're just putting him out there. She just says, hey, go a couple miles away and you'll see someone. Bring her to me. And that's it. And this is what Ollie's been doing for months, it seems. They've just been sitting around waiting.
Well-
I mean, this chapter is called Waiting.
I thought it was interesting that the end of the prologue, we have the withered winter apples rolling across the carpets, and it's clear that we're right at the end of winter. So how many months is that? Is that 3 months?
The bite of
A
winter.
year?
So they
Like a quarter,
they got,
right?
they got out of the portal stone near the end of autumn.
Autumn? Because the trees had already turned again.
Yeah,
And I knew
and
that
she's
they had
like, "Oh
passed
man,
by."
we lost months. This is a bummer." So it wasn't quite winter when the fight happened.
Okay.
So a season has passed, or so.
Right.
And in the meantime, all these women have been kind of coming, and yeah, they're scheming, they're doing stuff.
They're all doing different things.
Mhm.
I think they're all. I think some of them are like just absolutely not who they say they are.
Well, let me ask you this.
I'm listening to the music. I'm like, yay.
In case that I said I. Leia shrugged and answered hesitantly, "I knew that if I came this way, someone would find me and take me to her. I just knew. I have news for her." What do you think's going on here?
I'm not sure. In that specific situation, I do have thoughts about different Aes Sedai in this situation and who they are and who they aren't. But
Okay. Well, I'm wondering how did this? Why did this Tinker get this feeling that she had to come?
I have an idea.
Yeah, talk to me.
Because she's human. Sorry. We all say.
Yeah, I think this has. Well, the Tinks, they've had run-ins with the Aiel, right?
the Tinkies.
They're
Aiel.
Yeah,
and they brought in like Aiel, I guess. So they have had communication with Aiel, and I think she's bringing information about the Aiel.
Oh, okay.
That's my thoughts.
That's a good theory.
Josh, how do you
There is,
think that she knows to come to this spot?
I think the Aes Sedai tugging on the strings. I mean, little tugs here, little tugs there, like knitting reality to do their bidding. I mean, or at least like pulling the strings to advantage themselves within what's the narrative that's unfolding more broadly, like on the planet.
Okay. So like a find a phone kind of thing? Like they just are compelled to go to a certain geographical mountain? So if she's pulling the strings, like how far do you think?
It's just a
Like
feeling, people who are in touch are gonna follow the feeling, and people who aren't, well,
Okay.
I mean, there's,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't have to be compulsion, but it does, it's clear that both the dark and the light have this ability to like massage reality into following these strands of the story that, tapestry is woven from.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, right on. Right on. The Tuathalan, as I like to call them, they follow the way of the leaf.
What?
And this-
No way. No wonder we have 500 followers. Oh,
Not quite. I think we got to do it.
subscribe, like,
490.
Be sure to smash our like button and
So this is something that gets Perrin very agitated, it seems.
It's a trigger. Yeah, it's a trigger for Perrin.
It is. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why do you think he starts like yelling at her? Because she's just gonna run away? He's a bully?
because he lies to himself. I mean, he's caught up in a web of deceiving himself about that there needs to be a better way, right? Like, but this is the reality of it. Like, we kill each other, and to not hold a sword is just to bend over and like let it happen.
Maybe it was Two Rivers culture right there, just battle mentality. I don't know.
It says here, she says, "It is better to die than to," she began, but anger made him speak right over her. Anger that she would just not see. Anger that she really would die rather than harm anyone, no matter how evil. Quote, "If you run, they will hunt you and kill you and eat your corpse. Or they might not wait until it is a corpse. Either way, you are dead, and it's evil that is won. And there are men just as cruel, dark friends and others, more others than I would have believed even a year ago. Let the white cloaks decide you tinkers don't walk in the light, and see how many of you have the strength and your belief can keep you alive." He starts like yelling. Yeah, and so Josh, you think that he is, because this is triggering something in him on a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, you can see it here. He says, she calls him, she says, "It's so sad for one so young." She said softly, "Why so sad?" He kind of dismisses her like, I should be watching, not talking. And he says, right. "Sad, I'm not sad, just light. I don't know. There ought to be a better way, that's all." The itching tickle came again at the back of his head, but absorbed in ignoring Leia's eyes on his back, he ignored the itching too. I mean, again, it's like part of his dichotomy of like having this perception, like Kay said, this like intense instinctual reaction, but then also this like second guessing and rational mind, like what do they call it in Terry Pratchett? Second thoughts, like coming back to question that and like causing him to ignore what his instinct is telling him, his animal nature, presumably, or whatever is in touch with the thing that's deeper than the turning of the wheel that he's in touch with through the wolves.
There you go. Yep.
The chapter does start with him thinking about his axe. It says that, quote, "Perrin had pumped the bellows the day Master Luhan had made it."
Was he fingering his axe?
He was, let's see.
Caressing it.
Caressing?
Yep. No, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. He pumped the bellows. Is there something in there, right?
He just says it was a good axe of cold steel. Pump the bellows. Yeah.
Pump the bellows.
Yeah. So he does mention that axe right off the bat too. So that good call, man. I like that. But nonetheless, he gets pissed. He's like, "Fuck you and your fucking weirdo ways, hippie." But she's like, she states it pretty simply. She's like, she says it is possible to oppose evil without doing violence. And then she goes, "Violence harms the doer as much as the victim. That is why we flee those who harm us, to save them from harm to themselves as much as our own safety. If we do violence to oppose evil, soon we will be no different from what we struggle against. It is with the strength of our belief that we fight the shadow."
Lovely as belief.
Yeah, I mean, Dan is.
I mean, how do you even say anything more?
Right now.
Like, and
Drop the mic. Bam.
exactly.
And how different of a belief than the white cloaks too, right? Where
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
not just in form but in content. I mean,
Tell us more, Josh.
Yeah, they don't have any like hierarchical structures that, as you.
They're
that
distributed
you know of.
society.
They're egalitarian. They're communal.
They're
Basically, yeah,
nice.
you know, they're in the parking lot of every Dead show.
Selling glass pipes
There you
up the wagon.
Yeah, and
Playing
you worry that
bongos.
your sons or daughters, your little child.
I'm gonna run off with them.
Yeah. Dan,
What do you?
how you doing, bro?
Wi-Fi can suck the biggest dick ever. So this should be fixed. I'm using my son's computer. My computer did not turn on. So I'm seeing an Apple Genius tomorrow. We
Nice.
should not have this issue, hopefully.
good.
Kay and Todd, what do you all make of the two towering forms in the landscape?
Oh yeah, that was really interesting.
It was a man and a woman, Perrin thought. They might be, though wind and rain had long since made that uncertain. Even Moiraine claimed to be unsure who they were supposed to be or when the granite had been cut.
Right. I definitely think it's from an age of are celebrating, men, the Sidair and Sidan working together.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Just the men and women, Aes Sedai, working together, and they're together, they're the most powerful. So, I think it's from that age, before the breaking of the world.
Right, the last great age.
But we don't know.
That's very cool.
Do you think they're old statues?
I've always thought some of these big structures throughout some of the scenes have been similar to the things of ancient pyramids and structures of still that are questionable, that people have beliefs about and are uncertain about how they were able to how did we have that kind of technology to build these type of structures back then, all that,
right?
I'd
all
also
of that,
heard,
and then the Wheel of Time,
I'd heard that if humans were just zoop off the planet for 10,000 years, suddenly every human just bolted off the planet for 10,000 years. The only evidence that there had been any civilization there at all would be what is etched in stone. Pyramids, figures that are put in mountains and etc. All the skyscrapers and all the cars and all these things would long disintegrate. The earth would reclaim all these things. The only thing that would show that there was any sort of intelligent life were these things carved in stone. And so I think it's interesting that there's two figures carved in stone that not even Moiraine knows any story about them.
Even lost to the Aes Sedai, right?
Well,
could be from the first
right.
age, the first turning of the wheel.
Well, how about this? The phrase says that legend turns to myth, myth fades to legend, and nothing is remembered when the turning of the wheel returns, right? So on some level, this structure could be literally from this age, but the first a different turning of this exact age
moment of age.
But it's so long ago that there's not even any myth.
It's
or legend
that,
or,
but that point,
Tom Maryland
okay.
doesn't even have a fucking story about this.
Right, there's no even song. I mean, it's also interesting that they're literally moving through the past, right? They're physically traversing this moment of historical detritus that has been carved into the landscape. The other scene here is too interesting, where the deer startles, and then the predator looks up angered, and then vanishes after their prey, right? How do we take that as symbolic for what's about to happen?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, nice. Yes. Yeah, Robert Jordan again, if everything's on purpose, that's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's going to happen. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited?
So here's the quote. A deer raised its head from browsing, hesitated as the party rode up out of the stream, then bounded off into the trees. And a large mountain cat, gray striped and spotted with black, seemed to rise out of the ground, frustrated in its stalk. It eyed the horses a moment, and with the lash of its tail vanished after the deer.
Foreshadow.
Yeah.
Who's the deer?
I would just love to have a bunch of speculations about this, honestly. I really, really would. And I just don't. I just don't about this specific chapter. I just don't. I just don't feel like I have enough information.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't know. This was really tough for me because I really wanted to have something. about where I thought the story was going to go from here, but it just doesn't feel like I know at this point where I don't want to it's not that I don't want to be wrong. I'm fine with being wrong. I just have no freaking idea what they're doing at this point. Where are you going now? This started off very oddly and with the prologue and then changed back. It was
now we have a camp, the Dragon Reborn camp. All right, so
thank you.
Where do now is there gonna be camp politics? Is it gonna be the real world?
Rand's here's what I'm picturing. They're sitting around the fire, and Rand's sometimes Sidene, it's flowing, and I can taste it almost. I just want to grab it. And hold on to it forever. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. And then, boom, right into it.
Lately.
2 days. So they're writing for a bit. They don't get back until about late afternoon, it says. And they got a pretty cool little security system.
The Borderland bird.
There was a bird. It was a bluefinch. It says, quote, had a red-winged jay call instead of a bluefinch, he would not have been alone and the way in would not have been so easy. So they're just they did that bluefinch call. That's a bird up in the Borderlands. Hey. You got to know your shit. You got to know your birds if you're in the mountains, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's like when you visit New York, you just gotta talk about the Yankees a lot in your city.
I'm sorry, where?
You got to know which
New York.
Yeah, if you go to New York.
So if you go to New York, is that
you got to know which pizza place to go to. You got to know you take the L to the.
You got to know your pizza.
You take the B train over to Long Island. You go
you might want to know.
Massatoka and Greenwich. You're gonna go over to Hudson Beach and Bradbury Beach. You're gonna go over
don't fuck
through
with me, all right?
Updikeville.
Hey, I've been there all before, all right? I get it, I get it. Don't do this to me, all right?
Do it.
All right, so, Brother Dan, it's getting late.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. There's half a page left.
Put a bow on it.
All right, so they ride into the camp. There is this banner. It says a burst of wind swirled into the bowl, making cloaks flap and rippling the banner out to its full length. For a moment, the creature on it seemed to ride the wind. A four-legged serpent scaled in gold and scarlet, golden maned like a lion, and its feet each tipped with 5 golden claws. A banner of legend, a banner most men would not know if they saw it, but would fear when they learned its name. Parents welcome to the camp of the Dragon Reborn.
And the banner fly.
And that's where it ends.
Wait, you forgot to mention though, man. So Loyal is there apparently. One form, at least half again as tall as anyone else sat on a long and gross book. Yeah.
Right. He's like, so you found her.
And then I think it's Min, right?
Min. Yeah, Min. Mm-hmm.
She's like, so you found her, did you? That's so cool.
Awesome. Yep, loyal man, Baron, hanging out with the banner dragons.
Love it.
Which is interesting because the last time we saw them, they were in Falma.
They were packing up.
Yeah, they were. Rand was kind of healing a little bit, and now they're in the mountains somewhere. And that's it. Anything else that we wanted to that I didn't bring up in here, or that we wanted to touch upon more?
Anything you want to finger more?
Anyone want to finger?
Come on, keep it Robert.
Or jerk erect.
So we will be doing 3 chapters next week. We will be doing chapter 2. Chapter 2 is Sidene. Has that whale blooby tear thing upside down.
Yang.
The yang to the yin, yeah.
A claw.
Chapter 3 is called News from the Plane. It has the classic Wheel of Time symbol. And chapter 5 is called Shadows Sleeping, and it has a wolf.
Look at these guys. They're already reading.
I know.
I'm taking notes. I'm so just stop. Just
Is
stop.
that cheating?
Have
That's
some fun
cheating.
with
Come
it.
on,
This
right?
Hey,
cheating
we're
a
allowed
little
to read
bit,
the
'cause
names of the chapters. Come on.
Stop.
I was looking at the pages though. Wow, that's a lot of pages.
Golly.
Chapters.
Is it too many?
Look up here. Come on.
No! God, please, no! No!
Same amount, right? 30
Well,
pages.
if we don't get to,
Oh, that's true.
let's see,
Absolutely. No,
let's
that's
see.
all
No,
right,
we're
actually.
fine. We're fine. 41
We're
to
rolling.
41 to 68. It's 27 pages.
That's fine.
I think that's our wheelhouse.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
25
We've
to
done
30 pages.
so
I
much
think
more
is our
than that
wheelhouse.
I
before.
want a
Come on, guys.
5-paragraph essay
Fuck
with a beginning, a middle, and an ending.
Oh, man.
5-paragraph essay.
Wait,
I
what?
wanted-
At least a page.
We have to have a thesis statement and everything?
We need.
Done.
Build your argument with 3 arguments.
Done.
One per chapter.
Doing it.
And do not start Joshua. Do not start a sentence with the word "also." It's improper.
Robert Jordan.
Not good at grammar.
Guys, this has been a fucking smash. I love this.
I'm in love with this.
I'm in love with this.
Yeah, it was
I'm
fun.
in love with this.
This is great. No,
We're
I'm
gonna
having
get
a super fun
Awesome
time,
additions.
but you know what I mean.
you too.
into the thick of it. Into the thick of it.
We're gonna get
All right, Robert Jordan.
so into the thick of it.
There we go.
That was the Backyardigans. I don't know if you are aware of that show. You ever watch that show, Backyardigans? They're pretty fun. It's a kid show.
Oh, time with Sig.
Aw.
Kay's getting her first time with Sig.
Oh, Papa.
He got
Siggy.
uncomfortable.
That might be the id.
Yeah, that might be.
Guys, we are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. We are. We have a Patreon.
Most importantly.
We have a Patreon, guys.
Yeah.
More.
Do you Patreon?
Do you have a Patreon,
Do
bro?
you Patreon?
Do you have a Patreon?
Around here often?
And
Are
we
they
have a friend,
patrons or
Village
Patreons?
Mattress, who is selling mattresses and sheets and bedding of all kinds, sofas even. He has agreed to partner up with us. He's our official sponsor. And things that you buy from him, not only do we get a little slice of the pie, if you know what I mean, he's also going to cut 30 to 50% off of a lot of the things that he's able to sell. So, yeah, 30 to 50 fucking percent. All right, so the way that it works is prices change. Pandemic got weird. There's no pricing on the website. You call him or text him. He's a friend of ours. He's a friend of yours. You see him in chat every week. He's one of our best friends here. Village Mattress. His name is also Chris, and we're gonna pop his number up here. And yeah, call or text Chris, and tell him that you saw some awesome puppet show and betting stuff. All right. Here's the thing. We all sleep. We all sleep, guys. Right? You sleep. You sleep. You sleep. You sleep. Hey,
How
you can
dare
up
you.
your game. You probably had your mattress for a long time. It's probably kind of saggy in the middle. You probably could use better sheets. Just call the guy. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. It's no sweat.
This is
It's
bad.
no
These are
sweat.
bad sheets right here.
But you will feel good about making a difference in your own life. Seriously, sleeping on good sheets is a life changing thing. You feel better about your shit, man. You sleep better.
Do it for
You
you.
go to bed and you feel like your bed is welcoming you. It's like, come here, baby.
Yes. Do it
So-
for you.
Nice.
So everyone,
Come on,
call
home,
Village
look.
Mattress. And we are on Discord. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Everywhere you see the Way of the Leaf and puppets, that's us. We also have merchandise. New creations by Jen. Man, Ryan, these plugs.
I know, Jesus. Yeah. We need to redo your contract, Dan. You're doing great.
Man, these plugs. Guys, we are here every Tuesday now, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, with these beautiful, beautiful people. We will also be on Sunday. This coming Sunday, I will not be able to attend, but it is our monthly Watchinary game.
Nice.
We are going back into actual Wheel of Time prompts. Last time Taylor hadn't read the book, so we couldn't do specific things. But now we're back, and this is we're having some people that have been with us in the chat the entire time are going to be contestants. So it should be pretty fun. Ryan, do you have I don't know the entire list. I know it's Roneo. I know it's Rainbow Sedai. I know it's Fresh. Is it Fresh Prince?
Fresh Prince, and then Matt Stagger.
Yeah, Matt Stagger. Okay, that's who I thought.
Yes.
It should be fun. It should be great, and I wish I could make it. I'm going to be leaving on a jet plane.
Yeah.
Todd, as always, thank you for coming. It looks like a black hole.
Pleasure.
You can find them everywhere there's good music.
Check them out. Yep.
And Blue Bottle Coffee too, right?
Yes.
Blue Bottle Coffee. Let's rock it.
Roasting beans, man, for the people.
And Josh, my man, we're here in Homunculus Rex right now.
No. Orlocks.
With mixed by this is Orlocks. Yes, this is you. This is just you.
It's all Josh right here.
Feel
it.
Sick.
And K Sedai.
Hey, Sedai, whatever will we.
Well done.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
for
you,
having me.
everyone. We will see you next week. Until then,
Thanks,
you guys
brothers.
get to reading, you filthy animals. I love you, and I'm
Back
glad
at
that you
it.
came. I'm proud of you guys.
We're on it.
Bye, everybody.
But
Bye.
this is